as one of the detectives in Loose Cannons.
Oh, so he doesn't get shot?
I would say, though, really don't waste your time doing Academy Award voting. Wouldn't you think? I mean,
you never know.
No, I would say it's probably a shoe-in.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yep. Loose Cannon's probably going to be. It's probably going to be the talk of Oscars night.
The SEC made their announcement. It is 29 pages long. The tiebreakers and all the scenarios to see who gets the position in the Southeastern Conference championship game. Probably if you had tied teams, you just ask them, do you want to play or not? and let them decide. See if two people want to play. But it's 29 pages. It's always very easy if the tied teams played each other that year. Any tiebreaker always starts with head-to-head.
I mean, that's the easiest way to do it.
Easiest way to do it.
And then
makes the most sense.
I'm going to guess, though, we're probably more often than not going to have more than two tied teams. That's going to be my guess.
And then it gets really complicated after that. And it goes all the way down to number 7 where there's a draw. But there's a lot of explanations about all of that between 1 and 7 that covers 29 pages of text there to get to the SEC tiebreakers.
I am fascinated to see how much coaches value getting that bye. Because, I mean, the question would be, to your point, Jim, like if I'm the team that's already locked in and I've got no say-so in it, I'm in. But if there were a tie, is it worth playing another game to try to get the bye? Or would you say, I'll take what we got and we'll just play a home game?
If I know I'm locked in the playoffs, I'd take what I got.
I think most coaches would.
Yeah.
And they hate to say that because you don't want to say an SEC championship isn't important to me because ultimately you play to win championships. But I think for most coaches, they would say, if I can avoid playing that game, I would rather avoid playing that game. And I'll just play another home game.
Yeah.
Because it becomes another bye week, too.
We announced earlier for our NIL deal that we've got Tyler Booker back with us again this year, 9:25 on Mondays. And we've got Peyton Thorne with us this year. He'll be with us at 9:25 on Tuesdays. Those are currently the scheduled times. Those guys will be with us, subject to change if it need be. But Tyler and Peyton are the two guys who will be with us this year, Thorne and Booker, and we look forward to talking to those guys all college football season. We're at the Floribama tomorrow for our Guaranteed Friday, 9 a.m. to 12. Usually I wait to do our predictions near the end of the show. Let's do this tomorrow, and remind me to do it this way.
Okay.
One of us go to start the first hour, one of us go to start the second hour, one of us go to start the third hour, okay? That will spread our predictions out throughout the show.
Do you have yours yet?
I do not.
Do you have yours yet?
I do not.
I figure I'll work on mine, some windshield time on the way, down.
I know what I've been thinking. I'm going to have
I know I've got one.
I'm going to have
I've got one.
solo drive time coming up here, and I'm like, surely in that solo drive time, I'll come up with 3 guarantees. You know what I will not do in that solo drive time? Come up with 3 guarantees. I'll still get to the Floribama and not have any. Yeah. Even though I'm about to have 3.5, 4 hours on the road, primarily by myself.
Yeah, I'm fighting to stay awake right now. I'm sleepy. I did not sleep well last night or the night before or the night before. A lot on my mind.
Was it the Zen?
I don't know.
You think Zen caused lost sleep for you?
I don't know. No, I'd calmed down by then. I'd had a couple of peanut butter and jelly.
I wish you could have seen him, Lance.
I'd had a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches paired with a nice Pinot Noir. It was good.
I didn't know. He landmined himself, too. I did not know. I played horrific on the front, Lance. Horrific.
Yeah.
And Dunaway.
Did you play better or worse after you got your Zen buff?
Actually, I think he played better.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Well, we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
The sun is out. The tide is rolling. Is it rolling in or rolling out right now?
Great question. No idea.
I think it's rolling out.
Rolling in behind us.
Okay.
On the Gulf Coast, actually, and it is rolling. It looks like
That's a river.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the river is flowing. Shall we say east to west?
East to west there, but a beautiful day here on the Gulf Coast. The drone shot is up and working, and we're ready to go live across the street from the Floribama here at the Old River Grill, the sports bar associated with the Floribama, as we get going on what we love. And I'll just use the words.
Dude, we're 26 hours away from kick.
Yes, sir.
26 hours away from kick. I'll use the words from Jay Payer, who watches the show, big fan out in Dallas. He says, this is one of my favorite shows of the year, the 3 Guarantee Show. Bold predictions throughout the show from all of you. Jump into the chat room, and we'll get it done today here from the Gulf Coast. It's now our second year in a row to do this show from down here.
Yeah, exciting. Last year, you and I had one of the more creative stake bets. We will not do that again this year. I don't know if you guys even remember that. Where Alabama was playing Middle Tennessee State.
I do, yes.
And it was, could I have more cocktails in a 24-hour span than Alabama attempts passes?
Yes.
Yeah. So we won't go that route again, but that is one thing that I do remember about last year's show.
Yeah, the bold predictions we'll get into. We have a couple of things we want to touch base.
How bold are y'all? So, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I think 10 being the boldest.
My first 2 are bold.
Yeah, I think I've got 2 9s and a 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I think I've got 3 6s.
Well, that's the Satan's number, 666.
I got to be honest, the majority of our listener viewers' bold predictions are like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I try to get them right. But
We've never said bold. We just said 3 guarantees.
3
That doesn't have to be
guarantees.
bold. Now, I
thought they were bold.
I prefer people to not say,
Yeah.
Alabama wins more than 7 games.
Yeah, Georgia wins the SEC this year.
Yeah, I mean, let's get out there a little bit.
Michigan doesn't win the Big Ten.
You should at least believe them.
like this will be Emily Grace's first time
Right.
to do bold predictions. She was not with us yet.
I always forget that she wasn't here for the start of football season.
She has not been here for a year yet. It's coming up very soon. And she just asked, are these bold predictions to win the championship?
Be whatever you want.
And I said, it's anything college football.
Right.
It's anything college football.
Is Taylor doing hers too?
Taylor's doing hers. Here's the way we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Lay
gonna-
it out for us.
I'm going to get to mine in the first segment. We'll get EG's at 9:45. We'll get everybody's throughout, but EG's at 9:45. We'll let LT start off at 10, and then Todd Ferman joins us. He'll react to LT because that'll be a little good back and forth. And it'll get me off the hot seat with Ferman. That way he's been counting.
Depends if we get him on at 10 o'clock or not.
Yeah. And then Furman's going to give us his. And then Little T will jump on at 10:45. Brownie will do his at 11.
Okay.
Anytime the back room wants to jump on and they have any, they can jump on and do them. I don't
Absolutely.
know if Lunceford or Forrester or Rockstar have putting it together, or Tyler. So anybody can jump on. But those are the ones we have scheduled at certain times today. And we'll get to all that. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com, as we're on the road. And then we'll get to some of the happenings last night, including what Lunceford does for a living, a little high school football play-by-play.
How about I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur? That is where you find Johnston RV Center. They know that it is tailgate season for the remainder of the month of August. They've got that summer showcase going on where you can get great value. How about pre-owned and new travel trailers? Starting as low as $14,995. How about a fifth wheel as low as $379 a month? They've got a great discount for members of the military and you veterans. It's just a small way of saying thank you. You can see more at johnstonrvcenter.com or I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator. It's johnstonrvcenter.com.
And we have baseball. We had the NFL exhibition, but truthfully, a lot of people were talking about the high school football game that was going on in Alabaster last night to start off the season, because Grayson is one of the Southeastern powerhouses. I think other than a couple of the big national programs in IMG Academy, I think they've actually put out more ESPN 300 prospects from Grayson than any other school in the country. So they have a great tradition, and they come in to play Thompson. We know what Thompson is here locally. And it turns in, after a first opening drive by Grayson, 7-0, it turns into a defensive struggle. Anquan Fagans, the Auburn guy, picks up a scoop and score. That's how Thompson scores in regulation, and they go to overtime. 7-7 in overtime on main ESPN national television.
Yeah, so we were at a really cool local restaurant that's got a good buzz amongst the locals. It's a great setting, out on the water. It's on the other side of the bay. But watching that game, we were deep in conversation. We had our man came over,
Big Earl.
Not Bam Earl.
Yeah,
not Bam Earl. Big Earl came over and hung out with us, drove his golf cart over from his house.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the coast.
So we were having a conversation with him, but I kept looking up, and Thompson's offense, I never saw him across the 50.
So their only touchdown was a defensive score.
Yeah. I forget the kid's name who poked it free. Pyres, maybe. Pyres.
Okay.
Poked it free. Fagan scoops and scores into the third quarter. It's 7-7. They go to overtime with very little offense. Defenses are dominated. First play of overtime, Thompson throws a touchdown pass, kicks the extra point. It's 14-7. Grayson runs it in for the score, and then instantly goes for two. Their coach talking on ESPN afterwards, talking about it's on the road, the crowd's crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Let's dial that back a little
Got to
bit.
get out from the crazy crowd.
Chris Stewart, the Grayson Chris Stewart, like, let's get out of here.
Yeah, 15-14. They go for two and walk off with a win. That's a pretty good little football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Thompson's quarterback, is he a sophomore this year?
He is a sophomore.
That's what blows me away is they shut him out. That kid's a highly recruited guy. I mean, he was going to get $1 million NIL.
That's what I was going to say. An NIL deal at 15 years old for $1 million,
and they shut him out. That's pretty good defense right there, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So 15-14 in that game. Another Georgia Alabama high school battle saw the Georgia team that used to be coached by Josh Niblett. And who
still is coached by
when he was at Hoover.
Okay, gotcha.
He's now at Gainesville, Georgia.
Yep.
They brought their team over to play Moody. Coach Gaines out there, former UAB and Georgia star. And that ended up being 31-7. All the high school football started last night and goes all over the state tonight. Congratulations to your team if you win. If it wasn't a winning night for you guys, long season. Saddle up and enjoy the pep rallies. All right, we'll get to everything else that happened last night and get to some of these guarantees that should start rolling in now whenever you want to in our chat room. Remember, like and subscribe when you're with us today on our YouTube channel, or if you're watching on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Instagram. Thanks for being with us today. The show being brought to you by our friends at the Pants Store, your game day headquarters for all Alabama and Auburn fans. Man, your chance to go in there and get your polos, your sweatshirts, your quarter zips, your hats, and everything. They've got that right there at the Pants Store. 6 great locations all over the great state of Alabama, including the original one in Leeds, 2 in Birmingham, 1 in Huntsville, 1 in Tuscaloosa, 1 in Auburn. They've got free alterations. They've got free gift wrapping there and all the great name brands. And for the ladies too, man, they've got the dresses, the rompers, the Western boots and everything right there at the Pants Store, your game day headquarters. Go and check them out online, thepantsstore.com, thepantsstore.com. 2 NFL games last night. Chicago wins and the Colts win. Your biggest takeaway from either one of those, LT, would be Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, probably Anthony Richardson, playing early and often for Shane Steichen and Indianapolis, and he was uneven. 8 of 14, came down, led them to 7-0, then completely turns around, throws pick that led to Cincinnati touchdown. So 8 of 14, a touchdown, a pick. Really, he's not going to obviously show off his legs in preseason this year, but only played 4 games last year. And I thought in his 4 games he looked good. He just hadn't had a lot of reps. And this is a guy that struggled to complete 50% of his passes in Gainesville at the collegiate level.
He looked more like that last night, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I've just got a feeling. I've seen a lot of the fantasy football has really blown up this last week as far as drafts.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of these experts say a quarterback to stay away from is Anthony Richardson.
Why?
I guess just because of the unknown. Like I'm just lean. I've got a weird feeling because I think Steichen is that good of a coach. I think the Colts winning 9 games without quarterback play last year. I think with Anthony Richardson healthy this year, I think they win 10 games, and I think they win the division.
Yeah. I sort of like the guy, and I like that organization.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to always, at least seem to me, to be doing things right most times.
Well, and they get their quarterback right, too. So you can say what you want about Green Bay, and there's no denying that Green Bay has done it 3 consecutive quarterbacks, generational-like quarterbacks. But if you go back to Peyton Manning, to Andrew Luck,
to Matt Ryan, right?
Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan.
I mean, it was late Matt Ryan, but still, it's Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I still think that this is going to be kind of their bridge guy.
Yeah. You think Richardson will be?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think Richardson's going to be good. No, I mean, Bridge is in, like, to the next good one. Like, I think Anthony Richardson's going to be there for 8 to 10 years. I think Anthony Richardson's going to be really good.
Okay.
But I'm in the minority.
But he was not last night.
He was not.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
That's why you do the preseason. 2 more games on the NFL Network tonight, but a lot more games all weekend long. Final weekend of the exhibition season for the NFL. Jaguars and Falcons, 6 o'clock NFL Network. 49ers and Raiders, 9 o'clock on the NFL Network. One trade yesterday. Eagles get former Penn State star Jahan Dotson from the Commanders for a trio of late draft picks. That has reopened the door that the Commanders could be working on a deal to get Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. 49ers working on a deal with Ayuk, but Dotson, who came in as a rookie and did really well, he's had some flashes. Will get lost, I think, in that Eagles wide receiver room.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to be your number 3 guy. When you look at A.J. Brown, you look at Devontae Smith, I think Jahan Dotson rolls right in as a number 3.
That was very nice of you not to say, Jim, you're totally wrong there. I thought he would get lost in that room. So you think he's got a nice role?
Well, so Dotson was a first-round guy in 2022 out of Penn State, and he just hasn't played with a consistent quarterback. Sam Howell wasn't that guy. I was looking forward to seeing Dotson along with McLaurin with what you've got now with Jaden Daniels. But I do agree with you. The Commanders have got something in the works because right now Luke McCaffrey, a guy that I think they stole out of Rice, Christian's brother.
Right.
I think he is going to be a guy that will see he'll be an immediate impact guy for the Commanders offense. They still need a complimentary wide receiver to be their number 2. And, if they go out and get Ayuk becomes their number 1, and then you kind of shift McLaurin to number 2.
Yeah. So, moving parts even to the last moment. One day we'll be that way in college too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
One day
like a fall camp trades.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it'll be trades, but we'll be able to leave 2 weeks until the season, leave one team and end up going to another team to find a starting position for myself.
Dude, how much complaining will we get about that? I'm done with college football.
Well, we'll get a ton, but it's coming. So too are our predictions, but we need to put to bed one other thing here in our opening segment. It is the debate that is going on between it's not really a debate, but it popped up yesterday, and Kalen DeBoer gets asked about it. So Rockstar, will start with cut 6 and replay what we played for you yesterday. This is the Miami of Ohio coach talking about, his kicker ended up being, he was the Groza Award winner, best kicker in college football, according to the voters, who's now the kicker at Alabama. So cut 6, Rockstar. This is the Miami of Ohio coach. You heard this yesterday, and then we'll get the Kalen DeBoer cut 7 reacting to that. But this is the coach from Miami of Ohio and a little back and forth with his play-by-play guy.
All right, special teams, lost your kicker. Carter McLaughlin.
He's at. We didn't lose him. He's at Alabama. We know
I understand.
We know exactly where he's at.
Like
you media people, it's all pretend. Like, no, Alabama stole our kicker.
They
illegally recruited
our.
Illegally recruited our kicker and stole him from us. And like that's a fact. But that's but we act like it's not. We live in this la la world. Like, hey, let's not talk. I don't know why everybody knows what's going on. So, yeah, Alabama stole our kicker. A couple other schools tried to steal it, but then okay, what's the question?
Yeah, I love how the play-by-play guy had no clue what to do with that. He's like, okay.
And again, Chuck Martin, the head coach of Miami, this is something that really bothers him. And, kind of takes, they stole, laughing about that. But when he says they illegally recruited, he made sure he injected that.
Yeah, when it was just they stole, all right, they stole your kicker. But Lance is right. When you say somebody illegally recruited, now you're saying Alabama broke the rules.
Funny line to start with. We didn't lose our kicker. We know who he is. He's at Alabama.
That's all right. We can find him.
We didn't lose him. So Kalen DeBoer, he gets asked about it. And yesterday, cut number 7, Kalen, the microphone, is told what the Miami of Ohio coach says, and he gives his reply. This is the Alabama head coach, Kalen DeBoer.
The Miami of Ohio coach accused you guys of tampering with the recruitment of Graham Nicholson. Did you have a response to that?
I don't know anything about that, I guess, that comment. Yeah, I mean, he entered the portal and we reached out to him. So that's how it goes, right? So we did everything the way you're supposed to.
Yeah. That's the way you play that if you're Kalen DeBoer,
Yeah.
because the odds of anybody ever looking into this are quite small.
Yeah.
So the one thing you don't do is lob a grenade back to keep this storyline going, right? Because now, what's the Miami Ohio coach going to do?
but
He's gonna shut up about it, move on to the season.
Graham Nicholson wins the Groza. He is obviously a highlighted kicker. I think anybody looking for kicker, all he has to do, and I'm not saying there wasn't tampering. I think there's tampering on 99% of these cases. But literally, if he puts his name in the portal, he's going to have everyone coming to him. He can have his representation, have all these conversations, and they can figure it out.
Yeah, and I wonder what even is tampering anymore, because these kids can leave anytime they want. There's no windows. There's no special waiver that has to be given or anything. It is totally free reign. You leave anytime you want to. You're not limited to transfers.
Yeah.
And here's another thing as far as tampering. Let's say that you had a fraternity brother who his kid plays with Graham Nicholson at Miami of Ohio. Well, then I get to you, hey, will you reach out to Bob and just see if he's interested in playing at a bigger program?
Yeah. And
I mean, that is tampering.
Yeah, but I'll tell you the way a lot of it happens is, and maybe not with a kicker, but say a stud wide receiver. I call the high school coach about another wide receiver he's got. And he said, oh, by the way, how was Dunaway? Is he happy at LSU?
No, you know Dunaway, he's not happy.
Dunaway's never happy anywhere. Well, I'd like for him not to be happy with us, if he's up to it.
No, and you've got agents now too.
Yeah.
So, am I talking to the kid or am I talking to the agent? Is it illegal to talk to the agent? The kicker can go where the kicker wants to go. Maybe he wanted to kick on Saturdays and not Tuesday and Wednesday nights on ESPN.
Well, we're about to see how mentally tough the kicker is.
That's right.
Because Will Riker was one of the more mentally tough kickers you've ever seen. That kid did not miss.
Yep.
And you go from playing in the MAC on Tuesday nights, beating a Buffalo 13-10, and you might win have a 38-yard game winner in bad conditions, but you step it up and you're in Tiger Stadium in front of 100,000 for a kick that either gets you to a college football playoff or takes you away. Those are pressure kicks.
It's not a bold prediction of mine, but I wish I'd thought of it until LT just brought it up right then. Any SEC team having to go play a Big Ten road playoff game,
right?
Who's got the advantage? Alabama's got a kicker from the MAC.
He's kicked in weather?
He's kicked in weather before.
Yeah.
Weather.
Okay.
Yeah. He's kicked in weather before. So if Alabama ends up on the road at Penn State or something like that,
they'll bring that up.
And it's weather. They've got video of him kicking in the snow.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
He was well worth the tampering, right?
Advantage Alabama kicking in the snow there. All right, one more thing to get to after we tell you about our friends in Woodhouse as we get going today live from the Old River Grill, part of the Floribama family right down here on the Gulf Coast. This is their sports bar wing of the Floribama. It's right across the street from the main music venue, the music hall. So an opportunity to come here and watch the games, and it's your typical sports bar with TVs everywhere and great food here at the Old River Grill. Woodhouse Baseball, one last chance to go ahead and get that gift card for the wife before you just become a college football zombie on Saturday.
Yeah, look, you might not be angling for tomorrow because, look, week 0, not a lot of great games, really only 4 games you can even wager on. But next weekend, a full slate of college football action. Look, order that gift online 24/7. Give it to the wife or girlfriend, and then you're free. You can go do what you want. Send her to Woodhouse, located at the Summit Shopping Center. She can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift right now. 24/7 online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or get in, see Stuart and the incredible staff, and tell them the next round sent you.
Forrester, I'll put it on you to find out if you, Luntz, Tyler, or Rockstar at some point have your 3 guarantees, and when you want to bounce on and tell me about it. Brownie has some coming in. You'll be in charge of the chat room.
They're flowing fast over here.
Let me throw mine out.
Okay.
Then we'll take a break and we'll come back and start rolling all the ones in the chat room and on Twitter.
I got nothing but time over here, Jimmy.
Next round live. All right, here's my 3 for the year. No drum roll needed.
Can we cut them up?
Oh, that's what we're gonna do.
I think that was baked into the game.
I want to chop them up all day long. Everybody's. I just don't want to read them all. I want to react to all of them. I think Florida makes a bowl game. I think they go 6-6, and I think that's against the norm. Be bolder if I said they were 7-5 or 8-4, but I just go bowl game. Florida makes a bowl game is one of my bold predictions.
Okay, so if Florida is in fact going to make a bowl game, they're going to have to win some games against top 25 opponents.
That's right.
When we look at the schedule, we've said it before, and I think most people agree, it could be the most difficult schedule on paper ever rolling into a college football season. Something you probably don't want if you're Billy Napier squarely on a hot seat.
Correct. I mean, if it's a job saver season, you do not want the schedule he's got. That is absolutely for sure.
I was asked this morning, though, is there one game that really pops in the SEC week one? And the Miami-Florida game, and this would be a great way to get off to the start he needs to get to a bowl game. It reminds me of Utah in Gainesville, the first game Billy Napier coached. It really does.
Yeah, I agree. It's still to this day the best game he's ever had there, and he just never could follow it up.
Let's say he gets that one. That's one win. Sanford 2.
Yep.
UCF, I guess we'll go 3.
Man,
I've got to start digging now. Kentucky 4.
Okay. Not according to Matt Jones. You don't have to be that good to win that game.
At Mississippi State 5.
Okay.
And now we got to find one. So is it A&M at home? Is it Georgia, neutral site? Is it at Texas? LSU at home? Ole Miss at home or at Florida State?
I can see either LSU or Ole Miss. I mean, that's going to be a tough road trip for those teams playing with college football playoff pressure, going to the swamp.
Or Florida State at the end. That's why 7 was
that's
hard.
On the road. That's what makes that tough.
7 was hard for me to get to.
Yeah, no.
6 but
it's hard to get to.
If they're 5 and 6, that's going to be really interesting because that could be the kill shot to Florida State to put them out of the college football playoff. And I do think this Florida team, the more I look at them, I think they're going to be so competitive week in, week out, unless you get a situation where Miami, runs them off by a couple of scores, then they lose to A&M, then they're sitting at, 1 and 2, and things kind of fall apart.
Notice my wording. It doesn't say Billy Napier takes Florida to a bowl game. It says Florida makes a bowl game.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Dunaway's right. I think they win 6 games, and I think he survives. And I think that would be the right move for the Florida Gators.
And if Billy Napier sees this, when you're in town for the Birmingham Bowl, come on by our studio.
Yeah, come hang out.
We made the prediction.
Well, if he's playing at the Birmingham Bowl, it's an interim coach situation. It really is.
It always is there. It's a tradition unlike any other. I think, now, having never seen a Big 12 of 12-team playoff, never seen a 12-team playoff, I don't know how they're going to handle seeding. But my second bold prediction is that it's an all Big 10 national championship.
Oh, wow. Oregon, Ohio State?
Oregon, Ohio State.
Oh, man. That's
now, obviously, it can get, ranched out to where they meet in the semifinals. But I have a feeling Oregon and Ohio State play for the national championship.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to this. I really and I think I was talking to our friends Chip and Zay about this yesterday. As a Rams fan, I've seen the Rams play the Cardinals recently in the playoffs for a third time. Same with San Francisco that same year, a third time. I've seen them play the Seahawks 3 times in a season. I don't want to see Oregon and Ohio State 3 times in a season.
Yeah.
I just don't. And maybe it's just because we've never seen that look in college football. We've seen it with LSU and Alabama playing twice. We've seen it with Alabama and Georgia playing twice. We've seen Auburn and Georgia play twice. I just don't want to see a college matchup 3 times, especially at those levels, because the regular season matchup is going to be the biggest regular season game we've got in college football. That Big Ten rematch for the championship is going to be a massive game.
Yeah.
And then you get it again.
But listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, I know.
3 massive games. That's normally what we live for.
But if we accomplished, if anybody wins 2 or 3.
I tell you what, I'd rather have that than what we got with Georgia TCU. Give me a third matchup than what I saw with Georgia TCU. It was an unwatchable game. Yeah. That was the national championship game that was over at the end of the first quarter.
I get that, but back to Dunaway and having this Big Ten prediction, just give me Big Ten SEC somehow.
Yeah, and maybe they'll do that in the bracket, right? Maybe
I would.
It's going to be hard.
Maybe they'll work the seeding to where the best 2 Big Ten teams, best 2 SEC teams meet in the semis.
Yeah, I just don't think it's easy to manipulate now because you got to count on other teams to win games.
Yeah, and you got to.
It was a little easier when you had 4.
Yeah, but if Ohio State is the 1 overall seed, where do you need to put Oregon to where they don't meet them? If it's Georgia, where do you need to put Alabama to where they don't meet, or Texas? We'll see how it works out. My other one is also a little Big Ten SEC flavor. I've got Nebraska winning more games than Oklahoma this year. Nebraska winning more games than Oklahoma.
Some Korn Huskers coming up in mind, too.
Yeah, so Huskers more than Sooners. Old rivalry. I wish they still played each other every year, but I got Nebraska more wins than Oklahoma.
If you would have said this last year on this show, hey, I'm going to jump a year, And I think Nebraska will win more games in 2024 than Oklahoma. I would think it's more bold than what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma's a better team, though, right?
They are, just tougher schedule.
Yeah.
Much tougher schedule.
Now, I made those picks in a very relaxed setting out on the patio of our condo earlier today, overlooking the very calm Gulf this morning. So,
did you hear weird noises last night?
I did not.
No, like and I'm not exaggerating this, like every 40, 45 minutes there would be, and I thought it was you. The first time I heard it, I thought it was you maybe having back issues.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like you kind of a groan and then kind of a giggle.
Okay.
Wow.
And so I had to get up in the middle of the night like multiple times.
I know what I would guess there, but I
groan and a giggle.
I know what was not going on to the condo, so I could eliminate our condo.
Do you remember when Joe Pesci heard the owl and went out, what the?
Oh, yeah. He starts just firing that gun
so
everywhere.
the middle of the night, Maddie did that. She was like, what the? And I was like, it's nothing. And then went back to sleep and it happened again. And she's like, what could that be? And I was like, I don't know, maybe a doll. And
a doll.
That freaked her out. And she was like, there's a doll running around in here. I was like, I don't know, because it was making the weirdest noise, but it was all night.
What if you'd heard footsteps?
No, I was doing that. I was on the side of the wall.
Now, I'm not saying I still groan or moan in my sleep, because I was having some back issues.
Well, you came to get a blanket, and I thought, and when I went to look in the closet again, that blanket was back in the closet.
No, it wasn't. It was on my bed.
See, I thought maybe you folded something up in the blanket like as kind of a trick or something. And so
I am not a trickster.
Yeah.
I have learned Taylor Korn. Taylor Korn is a prankster.
Oh, he loves a practical joke.
I am not that person.
No, the best is when Taylor gets a wine plowed, and she's like, I want to play a prank.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I want to play a prank.
That was Dallas. That was Dallas.
Yeah, we got Hokinson pretty good. All right, that's my three. We'll get to your picks coming up. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy with us on the road here. And so, too, our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, taking care of all your urological needs. An opportunity here, from kidney stones to your prostate health to vasectomies. If it's that time of your life you want to wave the white flag, our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama can do that. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. 35 urologists, 16 locations. They'll take care of you. And the phone number you see on the screen right there will get you that appointment. It's our friends at UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UCA. Fine friends there getting you ready for the next stage of your life. We're back in a moment to the Old River Grill, part of the Floribama family here on the Gulf Coast, here on the Next Round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Back with you on the Next Round, live on Guaranteed Friday. 3 predictions on the college football season coming up throughout the show. All the way, Todd Ferman, our only guest from Vegas, he's got his picks at 10. Later on, the Floribama Lounge with a local star, Trevor Finley. He'll be with us today. He'll be singing live here at the Old River Grill. Show being brought to you in part by Hemphill. They bring you Lance's Lock every day, lanceslock.com, for all your plays tonight in the NFL preseason and college football tomorrow.
Yeah, working on 3 games for you in the NFL right now, lanceslock.com. Jump on board, check out the new website, win at lanceslock.com is a YouTube channel. More content coming on that. Getting ready for week 0, though. Jump on board. Football-only package available right now. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Since 1954. Trust the name Birmingham's trusted for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Tennessee sent out an email last night, and I don't know, Brown, does Alabama and Auburn do this? Tennessee will have every one of their games with a Spanish radio broadcast this year.
I don't think so. I don't think Chris Stewart speaks Spanish, and I'm not sure Andy Burcham does either.
Yeah, but they don't have a separate set of announcers somewhere doing that game in Spanish. And I wonder, I mean, Tennessee's got every game's going to have a broadcast in Spanish. Tennessee, I wonder if they do that in stadium where they have a separate broadcast crew, or if they just do that remotely.
I would think remotely, because press box space is probably at a premium. They're probably doing that off monitor somewhere. And I know, like, a lot of the national broadcast, the national championship game and all that will be done in Spanish, but that's done by, like, ESPN.
Right.
I'm unaware of any college that actually, I would imagine Miami maybe does it.
I bet Miami does it. I bet Texas does it.
Yeah, maybe FIU, some of those schools.
USC definitely does it.
Yeah, some of the border locations, maybe. But I don't think there are very many.
Yeah, so Tennessee, I don't know how many in the SEC, if any, but Tennessee doing every game this year available in Spanish. All right, Forrester tells me he is going to do one. We'll get Forrester's 3 guarantees coming up at 10:25. But right now, let's jump into the chat room, Browning.
All right, the MyBookie.ag chat room. Don't forget code Next Round with MyBookie.ag when you log on this football season starting tomorrow. Paul will be first. Dunaway, here are his. And Lance. Auburn and Alabama will play in the SEC championship game. That is a bold one.
That's
in football?
Yeah, that is a 10 of 10 boldness.
10 out of 10 right out of the chute from Lance.
Like, I think, Bama playing the SEC championship game, nobody is going to be surprised with that.
Yeah.
But Auburn in year 2 under Hugh Freeze, can you imagine the jump there?
Yeah, that would be crazy. His second prediction, Central Florida, UCF will win the Big 12.
A little Gus Bus action there.
Yep.
I'll tell you, man, the Big 12 is going to be as good as the Big 12 to me has ever been, and that's including with Oklahoma and Texas, just because I think it's going to be so much fun. There's going to be so much intrigue. There's going to be a lot of parity, obviously. I just don't – that's one of those teams I haven't even mentioned can win.
I know, but, I mean, with Malzahn, anything's possible, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But KJ Jefferson, with all the really good quarterbacks in the Big 12, can you see him separating himself under Gus Malzahn? I can't.
First off, we got a bird on the inside of here.
Is that inside? I saw it just fly by. I thought it was outside the window. Oh, yeah, it is inside. Okay.
He'd like to get outside, though.
Well, he's trying his hardest. He just can't get through that glass.
Yeah. Who's got the better quarterback going into week 1, UCF or Florida State?
Florida State. Say what you want about DJU. And look, I think he's just okay. 27 touchdowns last year for a 10 that creeped around the top 10 most of the year at Oregon State. But he started 40 games. I mean, if you guys were guessing, what do you think DJU's record is in 40 games as a starting quarterback?
I would guess 23-17.
That's a good guess, Brown. I'm going to say he's been 3 years. I'm going to say he is at a 35 games. I'm going to say
at 40 games.
Yeah, 40 games. I'm going to say he is 30-10.
He is 30-10.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they got to. Yeah. I mean, he played for Clemson, he played for Oregon State, and Jonathan Smith, who were winning a lot of games. But still, I mean, he's got much more experience. I say that KJ Jefferson's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, he's played a lot.
But it's close. It's a fair question.
Pick 3, Will Howard.
Wait, one more from Paul.
This is Paul. Okay. Yeah, Will Howard will be replaced by Julian Sayin by the end of the season. That would be an interesting storyline there.
So were those his 3?
Those are his 3.
Those are all 10s, yeah.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 from Lance.
Because Devin Brown would be your guy. I mean, if Julian Sayin ends up being the starting quarterback for Ohio State, that would blow me away.
Okay, that's not what I hear, LT. I hear Sayin's killing it there as far as being QB2.
I've heard that. Well, see, I didn't know he was QB2 already.
No, I don't know if he is.
Yeah, but I've heard he's had a really good camp.
Yeah, me too. Enough to where it would not shock me. And
I think Julian Sayin will end up being the future quarterback of Ohio State if he stays around. I'm just saying, Devin Brown has put a lot of time into that system.
Let me ask you, what does it take for Will Howard to lose his job? Is it
injury?
One loss?
Yeah, it's probably going to be injury because even one loss, you're not out of it. Now, if he's just awful, at Oregon, like they go to Oregon and he is just terrible and they lose a game, you might have to reevaluate it.
Yeah, I mean, going back to DJU, as bad as he was at Clemson, remember the first year as a starting quarterback?
Yep.
And their defense was really good, but he just looked lost. And his offensive line didn't give him any help, didn't have great receivers. Now, Will Howard's got all of that, but if Will Howard is overwhelmed and does start to make some mistakes and turn the football over, I guess you could see a change there.
I don't think they had somebody behind DJ that they trusted to bring in. And I don't know how much Ryan Day trusts Julian Sayin, but, Nick Saban, he had a lot more street cred than Ryan Day does with the Ohio State fan base, and he rode Jalen Hurts all the way to the halftime of the national championship game. Yeah. Ryan Day doesn't have that luxury.
The Brooks, 3 guarantees. Jalen Milroe wins the Heisman. LSU loses 5 games, and Georgia misses the playoffs. We're pretty bold here.
Yeah. I mean, Milroe winning the Heisman, that's
not crazy
That's
bold.
an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Where are we next?
LSU loses 5 games.
Loses 5 games.
Oh boy, Brian Kelly.
It'd be bad.
I think Brian Kelly would be on a hot seat because you've lost more games in each year.
Yeah.
From year 1 to year 2 to year 3.
Yeah, it's climbing.
Yeah.
I don't see that happen. That's a 10 out of 10 for me.
And Georgia missing the playoffs.
That's an 11 out of 10.
It's an 11 out of 10. I was about to say.
Because I've told you before, gun to head, I can give you, I believe, 3 of the 12 teams in the college football playoff, and it starts with Georgia.
Yeah. Hang on, my thing refresh. I've got to dig back up here to the top. All right, Rusty. 3 bold predictions. Neither Georgia nor Alabama makes the SEC championship game. I don't know what matchup you would have if Georgia or Alabama is not in it.
Texas and Ole
Miss, Texas and Missouri, Texas and LSU. Notice I had Texas in all those. That may be a mistake by me.
Well, I mean, if you were to say that Alabama, Georgia, and Texas miss the SEC championship game, then we're really going out on a limb.
3 different quarterback start games for Auburn due to ineffectiveness. Boy, that would be a disaster for Hugh Freeze.
3 different?
3 different. That means even Hank Brown wasn't, successful. And then you're down to Holden Gerner or whoever. Walker White.
Just don't see that.
And then Lance will like his 3rd pick. Lance gets 72.5% of his college picks right. You take that, wouldn't you, Lance? 72.5%?
Yeah. Who's saying this?
That was Rusty.
Rusty. Boy, I hope you're right. It's going to be a hell of a year if that's true.
Right now, I think LT would take 68.5%.
I will take 56.4% right now.
Caleb's pick, his 3 guarantees. Penn State beats Ohio State in November. That would be fairly bold because of James Franklin's record in those types of games. Number 2, LSU, Southern Cal, Michigan all fire their coaches this year, or they move on.
LSU, USC, and Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way in year 1 that they fire Sharon Moore.
No.
I don't even know what the outcome would have to be.
It would have to be Connor Stallions related.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. I don't see it. It would have to be off the field.
And number 3, Nebraska wins 9 games. Dylan Raiola is in New York City. That would be bold. Freshman?
How many games?
9.
Yeah, wow.
Well, we got some Nebraska coming up in mine, too. Hang tight.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 Nebraska so far.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at Hydra Live. Hydra Live keeping you juiced and ready for every college football Saturday with their great IVs. And we always recommend a membership plan as well, LT.
Yeah, make sure you ask about the memberships because they are rewarded with deep discounts. Save up to 50% off regular pricing for all services. Plus, receive 1 free IV bag per month with impressive savings and benefits members receive. You recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also a Tuscaloosa location. Very important. Mitch in the next round, 20% off any of these great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Terry on Twitter at Next Round Live, like and subscribe. Georgia loses 3 games.
I mean, it's the most difficult schedule they've had in quite a while, and they have got 3 very losable road games. I don't think they'll lose all 3 of those, but they got to play them.
Bama and Oregon will play for the national championship.
Not crazy.
I think Bama fans have always wanted to see that matchup.
Yeah. You just thought it wouldn't. You never thought it'd be Big Ten,
right?
Yeah.
Thought it was Saban and Kelly and a lot of speed on the field. Texas A&M will beat Texas on November 30th, and A&M will make the 12-team playoffs.
That's a Lance Taylor special right there. You've been saying that one all summer.
Yep. I got that coming up.
Look out.
Caleb, I think, duplicated his on Twitter there as he did the other ones. Jared jumps in on Guaranteed Friday. Billy Hall Napier survives the season and will coach Florida in 2025. I'm with you, Jared. SEC gets 4 teams in the playoffs there. Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Another Texas A&M guy there. And Miami wins the ACC. I'm right. That would be their first Atlantic Coast Conference championship.
Yep. We talked about it the other day when Mark Richt was there. They played Clemson, and what was it, like 38-3?
Yeah.
They got shellacked.
And then Jake writes in, Florida will go bowling. A lot of that today.
Uh-oh.
Not so bold. Every SEC team will have 2 or more losses. You know, I was thinking about that when they put out that 29-page SEC tiebreaker. In my head, I was thinking, we're just doing these tiebreakers for second place to see who plays in the SEC championship game.
Not necessarily.
I mean, it could be a 4-way, 5-way tie for first.
Yeah, and you know, when we had Grouchy Greg Sankey on back at SEC Media Days, I asked him some of these scenarios. So obviously, they have spent a lot of time realizing that we could have a mass of 10 and 2 teams.
Once you eliminate divisions, tiebreakers become far more complicated. Our birds. Oh no, did the bird die?
It has died.
Oh gosh. I mean, it's the circle of life. How did it die?
A heart attack, probably. Trying to get out, just panicking.
I mean, no joke. It's just laying on its side. It is still breathing.
Yeah, I think if we opened it up, he'd better chance of pulling through than.
I mean, that thing's just laying on the ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's Steve Powers?
I don't know. Somebody
rescue the bird.
Oh, I think it's quit breathing.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment of silence real quick.
No, he's still breathing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did he back up and try to look? Put a little press to it when he tried to hit the glass?
No, I just saw him fall to the floor. I don't know why.
It's the first in the history of our show. It's 15 years. It's the first time we've ever seen a living being die in the middle of our show.
First animal death or human death, right?
Georgia Tech will be in the top half of the ACC and make a push to win the ACC championship. That's from Jake. That's his 3 guarantees. Quick break here. Furman at the top of the hour. We'll see if there's such a thing as CPR for a bird. In the commercial break, show being brought to you by our wonderful friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's, LT.
Oh, the weekend is here, which means live music, both locations, the original in Crestline, the newest location in Edgewood. Get out, enjoy the live music Friday and Saturday night, but also college football action tomorrow. They will have the games on. You can sit back, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Pour one out for the bird. Odie's Tavern. 2 locations.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. 3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Back with you on The Next Round show, being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports. Got to see Dr. P last night on the sidelines roaming around for the Thompson Warriors in their 15-14 overtime loss to Grayson. Precision Sports Medicine getting you back in the game, tweaks and pulls and everything, the breaks and everything that happens, whether you're playing sports or maybe just trying to play sports on the weekend, pickleball, whatever. They will diagnose it, they will treat it, and help you through the rehab process. Orthopedic care, better together. Check them out online, all their great locations around the great state of Alabama, from Fultondale to Alabaster and the Birmingham metro area. It's Precision Sports, precisionsportsortho.com, 205-512-3885, 512-3885 for our friends at Precision Sports. When Forrester has the video ready, we will give you an update on the bird situation here. Developing news at the Old River Grill, where we're doing our bold prediction, our 3 guarantees again. In studio, we've got Emily Grace McWhorter, who is going to jump on the microphone and give us her picks today. EG.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
Well?
I saw people clapping in the background, Brown. Did you save the bird?
Don't give it away.
I apologize.
Now, EG. We got to play the game. You know, we got to tease the head.
People are trying to eat. He could have stomped the bird. EG, trying to get it out of here.
Yeah, don't give it away here. So here we go. Let's do your picks, and then maybe Forrester will have the bird ready to go. He's doing a lot of things right now. So tell me, this is your first 3 guarantee Friday. I know, probably a high point in your career at this point.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
So give me your first one.
All right, my first one is that Liberty makes the playoffs and Boise State. 2 teams from the G5 get in, but no Sun Belt team.
No Sun Belt.
No Sun Belt.
You got Liberty and Boise making the playoffs?
Yep.
Yeah. How does that even work?
I don't know. That's why it's
I guess
bold.
we would have it at large.
Yeah, it would require Liberty and or Boise being top 10 teams.
I think Boise might be able to get there with an undefeated run, there's no way Liberty can. Liberty doesn't play anybody.
Boy, I hear of East Coast, West Coast bias all the time, e.g., but she's got this group of 5, this G5 bias you have is out of control right now. This is crazy.
But it's bold. That's what we want.
Yeah.
All right, my next one.
What is next? What's number 2?
Lance will like this. A&M wins 10 games.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Lance is there. So crazy that 365 days later, LT's a big proponent of A&M.
I know. It's such a reversal.
Okay, my last one is a fun one, and I'm excited to share this. My bold prediction is that a fan and a mascot get in an altercation during gameplay that stops the play of game.
Wow.
That is one of my favorite guarantees of all time, and I so hope it comes true.
I'm just wondering which mascot do we want them? Like, I don't want one of the stuffed. I want one of the real, like the leprechaun or the Seminole.
But it happens during the game, and the game has to pause to figure out the fan and mascot altercation. And now everyone will be hoping this happens this season, and I hope it does too.
Yeah. More fun if it's Ugga.
Hairy dog.
Some drunk fan running under the field.
I know. I didn't say. I mean, it can include the live mascots too.
Yeah. Like Bevo or Ralphie or somebody like that.
Or Ugga.
Yeah. Those are good, EG.
Thank you, EG.
Okay, so real quick to Boise State. And I don't know how this can work. So if you were going to get 2, and I know it's bold, Liberty, they could go undefeated. They're going to be favored in every game. They got a tough one against Appalachian State. But Caden Salter is going to be really good, and Jamie Chadwell in year 2. But Boise, would they have to go undefeated?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, they've got Oregon in Eugene week 2, and they ain't winning that game.
Yeah. If they're undefeated.
Listen, I try to, as the older, seasoned veteran, I try not to be so hard and hard edges with our young up-and-coming sports reporters.
Dunaway.
But I hate to crush dreams. I try not to be a dream crusher. I try to be a dream weaver, but there is no way in hell there will be 2 group of 5
Listen,
teams.
EG, you keep hope alive.
I am going to keep hope alive. That I was I'm going to let this happen, and I'm going to say that we'll see 2 G5 teams.
But before we crap all over your 2 group 5, I would say this: if Boise goes 11-1 and their 1 loss is to Oregon, a team that maybe is 11-1 or 12-0. And Liberty was undefeated, I guess you could have it happen, right?
No, because of strength of schedule, the powers that be are not going to let it happen just because of strength of schedule. But EG, the rest of them were fantastic. We appreciate it. And come back.
What were the rest of them?
She came back with A&M with 10 wins.
And the fan and
the fan and mascot altercation, which may be an all-time.
Let's hope it happens in Oxford. It'd be typical Lane Kiffin.
Okay, breaking news. I'm being told on the bird now. Forrester has a video. EG may have let the cat out of the bag, or in this case, the bird out of the bag. Bird trying to get out of the Old River Grill. All the windows are locked. Eventually, the bird collapses from the roof. It's down on the ground. It is no longer moving until Ryan Brown jumps over and hits it with a towel.
Just if it was alive.
And it moves.
That's
it
right.
moves. It's alive. So then Brown figures out how to unlock the garage door, which probably should be open anyway, in case any other livestock would like to get out. The bird is set free. Brian Brown, the hero today, with applause from the crowd.
That's right. Everybody was excited to see this happen.
I got to be honest, though. I've been looking for the bird.
Yeah.
Don't see the bird. It's probably a good sign, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's flown back home, LT. And it's got a story to tell.
Boy, does it, guys. 3 guarantees for my college football season.
I tried to go get a French fry at the Old River Grill.
Yeah. I got locked inside, thought I had died, woke up, thought I was in heaven because some girl was talking about 2 G5 teams in the playoffs.
Like, I love the beach. And I want to relocate here one day, but I would not want to live here if I was a bird with that wind.
No, I mean, you're either coasting all day or you're flying your ass off.
Yeah.
We saved the bird. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We sport life here.
Yeah, so the bird lived through it. We've yet to lose anything on our ships.
Not on my watch.
Not today, friends. All right, back to the guarantees in our chat room on our 3 guarantees. It's being brought to you today by our friends at Michelson as we look ahead to the season, LT.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. You can always go online for more information. MichelsonLaserVision.com. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, in my opinion. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. 2015 vision now better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, let's work one in on the phone. Our guy Greg from Pell City. You can join us 734-0923. That's a 205 area code. Grego, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Doing awesome, man. We all love this show. I think you do too, because that means we have made it through the dark days of the summer and it's football season.
That's it. I'm going to bring back some old memories here. I'm going to see if LT remembers this. But in the summer of 2013, I made a bold prediction that he said no way would happen and would buy my whole family steak dinners. Do you remember that, LT?
Yes, Greg. I guess I remember that. Seems like a lot.
I mean, if it's with 10 kids, you and the baby maker Andrea.
Well, how many kids did you have in 13 though?
I probably still. I had 10. My youngest is 13, but we made a deal, and if you remember correctly, you sent me to the circus, which was awesome. But the bold prediction kind of is very similar to this year, the same kind of feel with Auburn. I said then that the Iron Bowl would decide the SEC West, and of course that was the kick sixth year. And you had said no way that was going to happen. That was bold or whatever. And so I'm going to say the same thing this year. The winner of that Iron Bowl is going to represent one of the teams. The winner is going to play an SEC championship game. Georgia,
I'll be willing to go steak dinner with you on that.
One reason why is because circuses no longer exist. Who would have thought in 2013 that circuses would have been banned by now?
Man, that going back to 2013, that was Malzahn's first year. And you guys remember the chaos it took for Auburn to get in that situation.
Well, the Georgia game 2 weeks earlier.
Oh, yeah, the prayer Jordan Hare.
No, but even before that, going to College Station and knocking off Johnny Manziel. Manziel had ball in hand to win the game at the end, and Auburn's defense.
They just kept coming up at the right time. It was a crazy season.
Yeah, but I'm going to get a little negative on Georgia here. They're going to have 2 losses by the end of September, and Ole Miss is going to dominate them when they play them. It's going to be a huge surprise, and it's going to knock Georgia out of any playoff contention right there.
That's the second non-Georgia.
Yeah. Well, you know why?
Playoff.
Because this is the only time you can get Georgia. Is when we're not in season.
What's your third one, Greg?
That was it. I said the winner of the Iron Bowl goes to the SEC championship game. Georgia has 2 losses by the end of September, and then Ole Miss ends their dreams.
Okay.
All right.
That's 3.
Thank you, Greg.
Let's double down on the Georgia pick.
There is some Georgia fatigue out there amongst SEC fans.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the same way with Alabama. I think anytime anybody starts winning, you want it to be your team, so you get fatigued.
Here's a question to ask, though.
Okay.
If you're an Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida fan, and it's not your team, but either Texas or Georgia has to win this conference.
I think it's Georgia because you don't want the newcomer to feel like they can come in.
I don't. Like, I won't. I would much rather see Georgia win this conference again than Texas.
Brett, our friend that's the truck driver, prediction 1, Ryan Day gets fired after losing to both Oregon and Michigan, which then means he doesn't make the Big Ten championship game.
If that happens, as crazy as it sounds, he could get fired.
His prediction,
his buyout's crazy, though.
Prediction number 2, Notre Dame hosts a playoff game that they actually lose. Boy, if they're the 5 seed and they get the 12 and lose to the group of 5 team, one of EG's group of 5 teams, that is tough.
Yeah. Boy, what a clapback from EG if not only is the group of 5 teams in it, they advance.
They win at South Bend.
I mean, where are you guys on Notre Dame? Because, I was talking, I was on with our friend Ian this morning. He had Adam Rittenberg on. Rittenberg's, that's a well-respected guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, I don't understand how A&M's favored in this game. He's like, Notre Dame is a much better team. And I went through my side on it because I disagree. I think Notre Dame's really good, but I think A&M is obviously better than advertised.
And one more from Brett Brownie.
Hokie High, Virginia Tech, BPI wins the ACC.
Wins ACC.
Yeah, that's 10 out of 10.
That gives them a playoff berth there. We'll keep the guarantees rolling. Todd Ferman on the other side trying to, I get blamed for it. It's you guys that always talk as fast at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you by our friends again, LT at Woodhouse Day Spa. Tell us about Woodhouse.
Yeah, Woodhouse Day Spa wants to remind you this football season, you are going to be watching games all weekend long. Wife or girlfriend wants something to do. Guess what? The gift of luxury from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Voted America's best day spa since 2009. They've got a menu of over 70 options from nail services, waxing, skincare, body treatments, massages. The wife or girlfriend can choose. You just buy that gift card online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. She is going to love you for this, and you're going to have a free Saturday. Trust me on this gift card. Simple solution. Buy them 24/7 or stop in to the Woodhouse Day Spas. Tell Stuart and the fine folks right there at the Summit Shopping Centers the Next Round sent you.
Back in a moment.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we're going to try to pick up the pace on getting as many of the guarantees in that we can. But Todd Ferman will join us now, and I want Ferman to be on to hear Lance's 3 guarantees so we can get a reaction from him. And then we want to hear from Ferman. So let's bring on Todd Ferman now. Todd, welcome in from the desert to the beach. We're down here on the Gulf Coast. How you doing, buddy?
I am good. Hopefully the weather is treating you guys well. Probably the perfect environment as we anxiously anticipate college football kickoff tomorrow, at least with one game that probably has a watchability score of more than 1 on a 1 to 5 scale.
Oh, are you not staying up for Delaware State and Hawaii? Hawaii,
absolutely
39.5 point favorite?
Absolutely not. I will not be trying to look for someone telescope feeding that particular game from their handy cam or old school flip phone with the 8,000 fans that'll be in attendance. I'll wait until Hawaii plays UCLA next week before I get my first glimpse of Timmy Chang's Rainbow Warriors.
I hear you. Okay, Lance is going to give his 3 guarantees, and then I want you to react and then give us yours. LT, the stage is yours.
Okay, so Ferman, my first guarantee is going to be a firing, and it's going to happen in season. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but Sam Pittman, the Arkansas schedule is really difficult. There is a clause in his contract. If he is under 500, the buyout is significantly less. He is 23-25 right now. But I think once they get into late September, October, he drops a couple of games, stays under 500. I think he ultimately loses his job. And Bobby Petrino, 21-5 in his final 2 years in Fayetteville, 12-4 in those 2 years in the SEC. I think he gets a look as the interim coach, and I think ultimately he keeps that job, and he's Arkansas's coach this time next year in 2025.
Wow.
You know, I think it's interesting because Sam Pittman, no doubt, is skating on thin ice. I'm not sure Bobby Petrino is the savior in Fayetteville that people are led to believe. They have this nostalgic reference for what he did before, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Sam Pittman is out at some point during the season, and I think they have to be right around 500 going into November. So I'm very interested to see, and if I was setting odds on the first SEC coach to be fired, I would indeed make Sam Pittman the short favorite in that market with Billy Napier probably a close second.
Wow, that's good news for Napier.
Okay, my second guarantee, like the Big 12 is so unpredictable this year, Ferman. Like I can't tell you. I can tell you I believe one of 4 or 5 teams will win the Big 12 and get the automatic bid. But even more difficult to me is finding out who that Group 5 is. Last year on this show, I said it was going to be Texas San Antonio. Frank Harris gets hurt early. They played like I thought they would play. Second half of the season, ended up winning 9 games, but they weren't that team. I would love to say it's going to be Texas State. Jordan McLeod coming in. You look at the schedule, they're probably favored in every game, but I'm not going to go with the Bobcats, team that gave up 77 in the month of November to Arkansas State. I'm going to say September 28th will decide the Group 5 representative. Is South Florida heads to Tulane to take on the Green Wave. John Summerall's first year, Ty Thompson at quarterback. South Florida, Alex Golish in year 2. I thought the offense popped last year. I'll ask you a question, Ferman, because you know all, and people are like, how does he know all of this stuff? I said, I don't know if he's a synthetic or he's a human, but there were 2 players in 2023 that passed for 3,000 yards and rushed for 800 yards. You know one, obviously, your Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels. Who was the other guy?
Well, you mentioned South Florida. I mean, Alex Golish clearly has this team buying into everything that has gone on, and it all starts with quarterback play. So when you're talking about the man under center, he's about as electric a watch as you're going to find in the sport, and by default, that leads you to starting quarterback Byron Brown as a guy that can do it with his arm and can do it with his legs.
Very good. Very good, Ferman. I knew you would know the answer there. Byron Brown, I think in year 2 under Golish, I think the offense is going to be outstanding. And I think September 28th, it comes down to Tulane and South Florida. That is my second guarantee. And then my final guarantee, November 30th, rivalry weekend, 9-2 Texas heads into College Station to face 9-2 Texas A&M. Winner goes to the college football playoff with 10 wins. Loser goes home. A&M, that game will be a pick. Everything is setting up perfectly, Ferman. A&M wins the game. A&M at 10-2. Year 1, Mike Elko goes to the college football playoff, and Sarkisian and that obnoxious Texas fan base are sitting home and going to like a Cotton Bowl or something.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if it's good or bad for the two of us, LT, because a lot of your bold predictions, a number of mine, you know, kind of piggyback off some of what you said. So I'll start and kind of go from back to front, because when I look at some of the bold predictions I had marked down on my sheet, I have an SEC championship game of Texas A&M against Alabama. I think Georgia is on the outside looking in, that there are some issues that we're seeing from Georgia in the trenches, some concerns that may manifest themselves. And while I believe in Carson Beck, I do have some other questions about the roster. Quietly, you go through A&M's schedule, that's a team that'll be favored, albeit a short favorite in a number of games, and arguably their first 11 contests before they get to Thanksgiving weekend against the Texas Longhorns. You look at their win total, 8.5. I no doubt doubt think this team has a chance to flirt with 10 wins and really believe A&M is a dark horse in the conference. And I think Alabama's stock has fallen a little bit too far. I mean, I have been a big believer in Kalen DeBoer going back to multiple stops along the way. I know Alabama fans, you can understand some of their trepidation when you lose a legend in the sport like Nick Saban. But I think Kalen DeBoer will have this program headed in the right direction. So I'll call for an SEC title game between Texas A&M and Alabama instead of Georgia, LSU, and Ole Miss finding the weekend off.
Wow, so Texas A&M, Alabama is your SEC championship matchup.
That is my SEC title. And, of course, you guys know when I do all this, I look at most of these things through a gambling lens. So you're talking about A&M 20-1 to win the conference. And Alabama, I actually just added to my portfolio earlier this week, took a price tag on them at 6.5 to 1. So those are the two teams that I have bet to win the SEC title.
If that does go down, Ferman, and that matchup is played, what is the over-under on Jimbo Fisher references during the game? I mean, I would set it at 3.5, right?
Yes. You know what's funny? I actually had dinner with some of your colleagues last night that are out here from the folks at 3HL in Nashville. So with Brent, Slay, and Dawn. And we were all talking about when Jimbo may actually surface and potentially take on some media opportunities. I feel like he's a guy that just wants to quietly disappear into the sunset of the college football landscape. He's taken his money, his $70+ million buyout, and wants no part of being around this media circus that all of us live for during college football season.
Let me ask you this. You said you added Alabama to your portfolio. For those that don't know what you mean by that, something happened for Alabama that made you take a second look. What was it with Alabama where you're like, okay, I think they're a good play now?
I think it's a team that's trending up. I have the utmost respect for the staff that, Kalen DeBoer has been able to build there. I think he's going to get the best out of Jalen Milroe. And quite frankly, for me, what goes up must come down. I'm a little bit down on Georgia in the grand scheme of things. Now, full disclosure there, I don't think Georgia falls off a cliff. From a true power rating standpoint, I still have them my number one team in the country. Do I think they could get pushed by Clemson next week in their opener? That remains to be seen. But I'm also down on LSU mainly because I don't think they address some of their biggest needs in the portal the more I dug into them. I have questions about this team on the defensive line. Can they be as bad and porous as they were on that side? Probably not. But I don't think the offense will mask the deficiencies the same way, as Garrett Nussmeier doesn't have that same level of mobility and an opportunity to extend plays, and I don't think they have the weapons on the outside that were at Jaden Daniels' disposal. And there's something about Ole Miss. I know everybody loves what they did in the transfer portal. Lane Kiffin is everyone's favorite walking, talking quote. But it's a team that I just can't get to yet for me to see them as a legitimate threat to win the SEC. I actually think the soft schedule early in the year can be something that works against them. So by default there, when you look around the landscape and you try and make a case for other teams, Alabama is a team that I haven't really upgraded overall in my power numbers. I feel comfortable with where those are, but I think their path is a little bit more fortuitous than I would have said if we were having this discussion about 6 weeks ago.
All right, what's your second overall pick here? Give us your guarantee.
LT talked about the G5 representative, and he said a team that he got close to. Well, I am on that team to get into the college football playoff as the automatic qualifier at a price tag right around 14 or 15 to 1. It is the G.J. Kinney-led Texas State Bobcats. When you look at what Texas State was able to do, I think the biggest coup for them in this landscape of NIL and portal, they actually got better in the portal. As a G5 member, they were able to retain a lot of their key contributors. LT mentioned their quarterback coming in from JMU. And they'll have two opportunities early on in the season to really build their resume. One against the G5 program in UTSA that'll come into San Marcos. And I think that's a program that takes a little bit of a step back without Frank Harris under center. They win that game. They'll also have the opportunity to beat a Power 5 conference opponent in their own building. Now, not an elite one by any stretch of the imagination, but if you can put a win over Arizona State in front of a national TV audience on a Thursday night on your resume before you go into league play, I think it sets a path up for them to potentially run through the Sun Belt, maybe not undefeated, as I know there are a number of good teams there, but it comes down to them and Appalachian State. I look at Liberty, who has two losable games against App State and ECU. If they drop one of those games, I think their loss against Oregon keeps them on the outside looking in. And then in the AAC, I actually agree with LT. I'm higher on Tulane than a lot of folks. I just don't buy Ryan Silverfield getting the most out of that Memphis team. So I'll take Texas State to be the first G5 qualifier in the college football playoff with a price tag of 14, 15 to 1.
Yep. And number 3 for you, Ferman, is?
The biggest long shot on the board, and it is a former SEC quarterback that, in my opinion, ends up in the perfect system to try and make a statement, and that would be KJ Jefferson to get invited to New York and have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy running Gus Malzahn's offense. Gus has done nothing but sung his praises, and we look at a quarterback that had similar skill sets, albeit not quite apples to apples, that did this down in the Plains at Auburn. I think KJ Jefferson can have the same impact for UCF that Cam Newton did for Auburn. I look at this UCF team. They're going to be in a lot of track meets. It's a wide-open Big 12. I'm not buying Utah and the durability of Cam Rising's knee. I think Kansas State is down a little bit. So if UCF is able to win 9 or 10 games and have a chance to win their conference, I think KJ Jefferson at prices in the triple digits to win the Heisman. I think he has a chance to get to New York and maybe do the unthinkable with a real Cinderella story after leaving Fayetteville, which no doubt kind of goes 360 to LT talking about Sam Pittman getting fired. It would really be a thorn in the side of Arkansas fans if their former quarterback won the Heisman playing for an Arkansas native in Gus Malzahn.
Wow.
That's bold.
I love them, Ferman. Love them. All right, we have survived the offseason. Todd Ferman now with his 3 guarantees. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. He mentioned Alabama and Texas A&M playing for the SEC Championship. Ferman and the crew at Bet the Board Podcast broke down every single conference, all of them. You can get that at BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Before you go, Ferman, any thoughts on Georgia Tech, Florida State tomorrow over in Dublin? We just got a tweet.
Yeah, I just got a text from somebody, a live report from Dublin. The city is flooded with FSU fans over there.
I don't know how that will impact it. I think Georgia Tech's used to playing outnumbered fan-wise, but I've heard a lot more love for Georgia Tech going into this game. What's your feel on this one?
Yeah, number opened as high as Florida State, a 13.5-point favorite. Earlier this summer, we've seen Georgia Tech try and take some money. 10 has kind of been that resistance point before we start to see a little bit of Florida State money come in. I think this offense will look different than what we saw last year. I have some major concerns about Florida State's receiver group, unlike last year, but they have a stable of very capable backs. So I think Mike Norvell will run a more methodical offense. They'll look to set up play action, take a couple deep shots. And I actually think Florida State's defense isn't being given enough credit. I know people remember what they saw last, and that was Florida State getting gashed by Georgia with second and third teamers out there. But I think this game could be a little bit lower scoring than people think. If I was getting involved in full disclosure, I haven't bet any of the 4 games tomorrow. The closest play for me would be going under the total in the Florida State-Georgia Tech game because I don't think Florida State wants to turn this into a track meet with a Tech team that has plenty of weapons in space. So I think Norvell and company run the football against the interior and try and shorten the game some, and we'll see if Mother Nature has her say, or I should say field conditions, that we know can get chewed up between the trenches with football players that operate a little bit different than the rugby clientele.
All right, he is Todd Ferman. BetTheBoardPodcast.com, at Todd Ferman on Twitter. Excellent stuff, Ferman. As always, we appreciate the time. We'll talk about Week 1 games next Friday with you. Thank you.
Can't wait, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your weekend at Floribama.
All right, buddy. Take care. Ferman with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And we are at the Old River Grill across from the Floribama, the sports bar property of the Floribama, where we come every year now for our bowl prediction, our 3 guarantee show. That is being brought to you in part today by our buddy Dr. B, the guy that has rejuvenated. He made the bowl prediction one day of saying, Lance, you can keep the hair of an 18-year-old.
I actually never thought I would be thinning. This is something that came kind of overnight for me. Look, and it happened in my late 40s. So if it's happening to you, if you know somebody, be preemptive on this. Go see Dr. B. Schedule the consultation today, 205-319-0316. Dr. B, for more than 20 years, women and men have turned to him for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
HAM on Twitter at Next Round Live. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow all our social media platforms. Taylor gets a bonus for that. Number 1, the Big 12 and the ACC will both have 2 teams in the college football playoffs. I disagree with that. I think one will have 2, one will have 1. But he has Utah and Oklahoma State out of the Big 12, Clemson and North Carolina out of the ACC. North Carolina is a big stretch there for me.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think North Carolina, the defense is going to be better, but they don't have what is viewed as an elite quarterback, which they've had for a long time. And it seems like even if you've got starting quarterbacks in the NFL like a Drake May or a Sam Howell, you're only winning 9 games. Defense will be better under Jeff Collins, but I'm not buying it.
Undefeated Liberty will be left out of the college football playoffs. Now I can see this happening someday.
Absolutely.
But a certain conference USA in this case, strength of schedule is different than some other. But Liberty they do have one big group power game, don't they?
Nope.
They don't.
That's
Okay.
their problems. Their schedule, Jim.
They go to Boone to take on Appalachian State.
That's their biggest game.
Yeah,
So they don't play a Power 5.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Everything else is Conference USA for them. And see, here's the problem. Like if Memphis, say they upset Florida State and picked up another loss somewhere, they're still going to be in front of an undefeated Liberty.
That's a great point. He also has Ohio State and Oregon as the only Big Ten teams with less than 2 losses. So college football playoff will have to reach to find a third representative from the Big Ten. It'll be interesting to see how they do handle parity. Drake writes in 3 guarantees. Billy Napier doesn't make it past the bye week before he's fired in season.
Yeah, that's what we've said. And we've identified that for both Sam Pittman and Billy Napier, where that bye week falls and what they've got kind of around that. A lot of times that's where you see a move made.
NC State wins the Atlantic Coast Conference. How big of a shock would that be for you?
So I did hear somebody talking about if there's a team outside of the top 25 that could be in a college football playoff, who is it? NC State is right outside of the top 25.
You like Grayson McCall.
Yeah, I do like Grayson McCall a lot. Look, I thought Brennan Armstrong was going to be better last year, and he wasn't. That's the problem with Dave Durant. Dave Durant always seems to be right there, 8 or 9 wins, but can't get over the hump with 10 wins. But maybe McCall is that quarterback that puts him over to 10 wins.
And Drake's third one is Ohio State loses at least 2 regular season games and does not make the playoffs, and Ryan Day is fired there. That from Drake in his 3 guarantees. Kevin, Alabama, and Auburn both make the college football playoffs. That may be the first one of those I've seen.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah. UAB makes a bowl game, and an SEC team wins the national championship. That from Kevin on Twitter at Next Round Live. Chris, my 3 guarantees. Bama goes 8-4 and finishes unranked.
Oh, I would not want to be Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, I still think 8-4 gets them ranked.
Yeah, but if 8-4 ranked or unranked, really doesn't matter.
Would be terrible.
Yeah, if it's 8-4.
Peyton Thorne is a Heisman finalist in New York, and Miami plays in the national championship game.
Wow.
Those from Chris there. One more before we take our next break. Forrester will have his in the next segment. Who haven't we done? Here's Will. Auburn finishes with a better record than Alabama this year.
That would be massive, massive for Hugh Freeze to do that. I mean, I don't know what that record would be.
Well, and especially when people talk about, the recruiting, at least what the strategy is right now for Hugh. And it's really about next year. It's about going into year 3. If with all of this noise and, Courtney Morgan getting this crazy raise and everybody talking about Alabama and their ability to recruit, if Auburn had a better record,
I think it would take 10 wins to have a better record. So that would be massive.
And 2 SEC teams play for the college football national championship. More of your bold predictions, your 3 guarantees. We do this show every year on the Friday before the start of the college football season, week 0, which gets going tomorrow. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Hemphill. The end of summer's here, but the end of the heat's not. So when the air conditioning stops working, you call our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. If you have any issues in your home or business, plumbing, cooling, heating, the guys at Hemphill Services there to serve you. 205-229-2090. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
In the chat room, more of your picks. Also on social media at Next Round Live. Also, you can jump on the phones if you would like as well. However you get them to us, we'll get to them at some point. If we don't get to them in this show, we will document them. They're there forever, and we will reference them throughout the rest of our show's history. This is the Next Round live from the Floribama, the Old River Grill today, down on the beautiful Gulf Coast of Alabama and Florida. This is TNR.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the next round. LT and I were just talking to Uncle Steve about the air conditioning kicking down here.
It feels so good. I can't believe you're complaining.
You know how hard it is to keep a coastal room this temperature? I mean, the hamsters up there are going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're really shocked with all of the glass in here with the garage doors and everything.
Yep.
That they're able to maintain. I would say it's every bit of 67.
Feels great.
Is that about right?
Feels great. I've noticed that hadn't slowed you down on a bushwhacker.
Oh, it's my first bushwhacker. Bushwhacker of the trip.
Yeah.
I think you guys partook a little bit.
Dunaway has said no bushwhacker on this trip, and he lived up to his promise last night.
Yeah, no bushwhacker. I stuck with the nice ice cold Bud Lights.
That's right.
For our dinner and over to the Floribama, where the music was great. And by the way, we started working the musical connections maybe for our 5th kickoff party last year.
I want to say who we watched.
Well, I mean, it's an artist group, a piano group that plays here all the time. They play a lot of good songs.
It's a guy on a drum and a guy on a piano. And
I would rather have Big Earl in our kickoff.
We had dinner with Big Earl last
doing
night.
his stand-up and music at the same time.
We had dinner with Big Earl, who is retiring. Big Earl is retiring, and
the Sexual Biscuit.
Yeah, with the band, but still performing some here at the Floribama. We had dinner with him last night. He's a fan of all you guys and a fan of the show. It's been so many people go see his show that watch our show as well.
Yeah, November 14th, he'll be at the Comedy Club Stardome, by the way.
Can't wait to do that, and we'll be tied in with Big Earl. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, before we get back to our predictions, Scott is next, and then LT will tell us about CPAP. But let's get Forrester up on the camera, up on the microphone. Big Scott is going to give us his 3 guarantees for the football season, college football season coming up. Good morning to you, Scott. How are you?
Hey, Jim. How's it going?
Doing great. That's just the way the official news anchors always used to toss it out to the live shot. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
So I got some predictions for you. Right here.
All right.
So
give me the first one.
I think at some point in the season we're going to have a major controversy over the in-helmet communication.
Oh, I think Scott's right on this. You know, we talked about this with Steve Shaw. And after Steve came on, I was like, what's the first game, Scott, where some coach says, so-and-so's helmet communications working the whole game. Ours barely worked.
Mario Cristobal,
Yeah.
week 1.
I'm not going to make a big deal about this, but I want everybody to know, I think you're 100% on this, Scott.
See, I'm hoping it's Mike Gundy or somebody like that who's, has no qualms about shooting his mouth off at the mic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm 60. I can't hear.
I think that would be incredible. My second one, Lance already took it, so I'm going to pivot from that. I also thought that Sam Pittman was going to get canned at some point this season.
And for the record, Scotty, I hope he doesn't. I hope he does not. As much as I respect Bobby Petrino as a head coach, I think Pittman has done enough to keep his job at Arkansas.
So instead, I'm going to go Colorado goes 2-10, and Deion steps down.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be interesting, Scott. Let's just look at this for a minute. If they were to go 2-10, and we know Shiloh and Shadur are on to the NFL, does his pride get in the way of stepping down, though? Like, what is it? Does he blame it on his health? I mean, how do you escape that?
Yeah, I mean, because you're not getting another job at that point.
No, 2-10. He's not going to sit around and do it again.
You're not going to fight out of that hole without Travis Hunter or whoever, without Shiloh.
But even if they were to go 7-5, and it would take Shadur playing he played lights out last year and they were 4-8.
Yeah.
But if he played even better, and for whatever reason they found 8 wins, does he want to do it again next year without his kid?
Yeah, I don't think so. And I don't know how good, even if they reach their potential. I'm not sure if he's back again anyway, just because of the kid situation. Marcelo seems to think that they're going to be really good early on, Forrester, and that people will, just like last year, start talking about him, and then the rubber will meet the road again.
Yeah, but I also heard in Brock Heward's voice, who joined us, Unlock coming up, Labor Day, first edition of that 1-2, right here on the next round. But Brock, did you guys kind of feel that first Thursday night game with North Dakota State, this is the team that could give them problems?
Yeah, Marcelo is the only person I've heard say the opposite. I think a lot of people think it's going to be tight. And Klatt too, yeah. He just hadn't said it on our show yet.
Yeah, and your third one, Forrester, is what?
All right, my third one, maybe my boldest one here. Auburn, they've not had a lot of success in either Athens or Tuscaloosa recently. Last win in Athens, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Last win in Tuscaloosa, the cam back in 2010. They're going to get one of those.
Oh,
I thought you were going to call for both.
I did too.
No,
I'm not going there. Up.
Hey, one though, I think, Scott, I think it could put them in a position that Greg from Pell City said earlier, the Alabama-Auburn game could decide who's playing in the college football, or could decide who's playing in the SEC championship. If Auburn gets one of those games, watch out.
Yeah, I will tell you, Forrester, you continue. You're like the sixth person to paint a bad picture for Georgia, a different picture than what we've had the last few years of Georgia. So not that you weren't assuming Auburn would beat Alabama, but you threw in Georgia there. So that's the first opportunity for number 3 for Forrester's predictions to come true. We appreciate you, Forrester, man. Thank you so much. We'll Rocky and Tyler say they have passed on their 3 predictions. Lunceford is still under the weather. We're wishing him the best. And hopefully we'll get his prediction. Taylor, little T, is going to send hers out on social media later today. She is juggling cats back there with the Barn Auburn content and Cover Crimson content. Go and get great predictions and real news all season long with our 2 websites that we launched just a few days ago, covercrimson.com. covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. What are you laughing about?
Thinking of Taylor sitting at her desk juggling cats. I've never heard that phrase.
She is very talented. Ryan's 3 guarantees coming up at the top of the hour. Right now, more in the chat room. What do you have for us, Brownie?
Very formal. In the mybookie.ag chat room, Goose says Colorado has an interim coach before season's end. A lot of you're going to see a lot of Colorado and Billy Napier coaching changes here. Number 2, Clemson finishes unranked and Dabo's seat is warming. Oof. Unranked for Clemson would be really bad.
Oh, wow.
And number 3, no quote-unquote expansion team wins their conference this year. So that would knock out Texas, Oklahoma, Oregon, USC. A lot of them.
But see, that's just the opposite of one of our analysts who says 3 of the 4 major conferences. He sees, I forget who it was. It was It was Reese Davis, wasn't it?
Maybe so.
There was Texas.
Frankly, it all runs together at this point.
Texas, Utah, and Oregon, all three new teams in conferences.
That's true.
Win their conference championship. Just the opposite of that, Goose. Not that Reese is smarter than you, Goose.
No. Pavlik in the MyBookie.ag chat room. SMU in the playoff out of the ACC. Probably requires SMU to win the conference at that point, but that would get you in. And Ole Miss out. That's the second half of his first one. SMU in, Ole Miss out.
I do like this SMU team.
Yep. Nebraska and Virginia Tech make a bowl game. USC and Wisconsin do not. Lance, if USC misses a bowl game.
I do not see that.
That's 5 and 7.
Yeah, I don't see that. USC is a fascinating study for me this year because I do think they're going to be better defensively. The offense cannot be as good as it was.
His third guarantee, Pat McAfee says or does something to get him fired this season. He's got a really good contract.
Yeah, I don't. What would he have to say?
I don't know.
Would get him fired.
There are things you can say to get fired, but he's a boisterous guy. But I think he's a pretty smart guy. I think he knows how to handle himself. But he lives on the edge sometimes.
CPAP Plus bringing you this part of our guaranteed Friday with 3 picks. LT.
Hey, don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. Ush, before he did the Pin of Grace, came in yesterday. Brown, I think you were there.
I saw this, yeah.
And he said, look, I've got this app on my phone now that shows me how well I sleep with my gear from CPAP Plus. Visit any of the 3 convenient locations. Pelham Highway 280, now open and trustful for a free CPAP checkup and free filters. No appointment needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, mask and supplies in stock every day. If you need it today, guess what? They've got it today. With over 500 or 200 5-star reviews on Google, the folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Stop into one of those locations or just Google CPAP Plus and make sure you tell the O'Neill brothers the next round sent
He said his old system, though, he has to take a chip out and mail it.
That's right.
To get your basically life-saving information.
That is crazy. I heard him say that. Susan, great female listener. Georgia finally playing a strong schedule has impacted everybody's picks, apparently, here. Royal Pain's 3 bold predictions, or 3 guarantees, as we like to call them here. Both Texas and Georgia missed the playoffs with at least 3 losses this year. Ollie Gordon passes all the quarterbacks to win the Heisman and goes over 2,000 rushing yards as Oklahoma State wins the Big 12. A little Ollie G love there. And ESPN blows up the ACC after the season by using their look-in clause in their contract, and he believes North Carolina becomes one of the new teams to join the Southeastern Conference. Those guarantees from Royal Pain there. We'll keep that rolling on the other side with your 3 guarantees on Twitter at Next Round Live. Also over in your chat room, Brownie, what else do you have over there for us?
In the MyBookie.ag chat room, Keelan says Elko wins SEC Coach of the Year. I actually agree with him on that. I think Mike Elko is your SEC Coach of the Year this year, especially if he does what you think.
Yeah.
Number 2, Nebraska sneaks into the playoff.
That would be incredible. That is your national Coach of the Year. If that happens.
No doubt. Number 3 is back-to-back in the chat room here. SMU wins the ACC. So a lot of people thinking Rhett Lashley in the first lap there is going to.
I like SMU a lot. I really do.
Yeah, they're. I think their 22s can hold up, right?
Yeah.
Moving up from G5 to the ACC. Any injuries at all, and all of a sudden your backups are not as good. I think you're going to face at the top half of that league.
Volfan 205. Billy Napier will be the coach at Florida in 2025. So. The reverse of what a lot of people are saying. Napier keeps his job according to him.
I lean that way too.
What's his name again?
Vol Fan 205. This is a Tennessee fan saying this.
Yeah. So Napier keeps gig. Okay.
Yep. Neither Clemson or FSU win the ACC. Because that opens the door for SMU for the 3rd straight prediction there. And then Penn State finishes 8-4 or worse.
Ooh.
Boy, I tell you, we looked at their schedule the other day. The thing is, and Jim made this point, more against the spread than overall, but they go hand in hand. James Franklin, apologies to James Franklin, is really, really good in those non-top 10 games. Like, really good. And he only is going to have maybe that one top 10 game.
Well, and that's why most people think Penn State will make this college football playoff, because you just assume well, you just assume James Franklin will do James Franklin things, and he'll lose to the teams that he should lose to, and he'll beat the teams he should beat.
Getting better in the caboose, though. Lance Taylor's neighbor Number one, Bama's wide receivers group returns to elite status, 1,000-yard guy and multiple 500-yard guys. So he likes Bama's receivers being back to a good place. Number two, Michigan, major step back, 7-8 win season. And number three, LSU and Ole Miss combined for 15 wins.
LSU and Ole Miss combined for 50.
That's not a lot.
That's not great.
That's not a lot.
No.
That's not a lot.
That's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
What that is.
His guarantees, Georgia or Texas miss the playoffs. One of the two. Bama leads the SEC in offense.
I don't think that's crazy. I mean, I think Jalen Milroe, the way he played last year, I'll say, for whatever
I
this
was
is
going to
worth.
say Jalen Milroe is going to be a Heisman Trophy finalist. I don't think that's that big. That bold of a
he's
prediction.
in the top 4 in the biggest odds. Again, I'm not saying this leads to anything. I'm just saying this is what I think is a factual statement. Jalen Milroe is about to get the best offensive coaching he's ever gotten in his life, or he currently is getting the best offensive coaching. It doesn't mean he's going to be a Heisman finalist or whatever, but I think he's getting the best coaching he's ever gotten in his life on offense right now, and you would think that would translate into some big things.
And Will's third one is Dabo and Little Old Clemson win the ACC and make the playoffs. Jason, Ole Miss will play in the SEC championship game. For the second year in a row, a non-SEC team wins the national title. My prediction early on that 2 Big Ten teams will actually play for it. And Jason says Auburn will only have 2 losses heading into the Iron Bowl.
Ooh, would love it.
That'd be a monumental game coming up. Those on Twitter at Next Round Live, remember to like and subscribe there. Usually we don't do 4 downs on guaranteed days. Are we doing 4 downs today?
I've got it. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you guys.
We can do 4 downs when we come back. Also, the show being brought to you today by our friends at A+. Brownie, tell us about A+, the folks that changed the inside of y'all's building.
They absolutely did. It came time to redo the master bath in our house. So my wife, Jennifer, she scoured the internet looking for the best person for the job. She talked to certain contractors, people that had used contractors. She read reviews. She picked Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling, and I am glad she did. He did tremendous work in the Brown house, so good that Lance was like, man, I need my bathroom redone. So he did Lance's master bath and now Lance's kitchen. So we've used him here on this show. That shows you our level of trust for Brad Bell. I'm thrilled with the work he did. What he specializes in is master bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, and master bedroom closet remodel. Now, here's why that's important. You spend a lot of time in those rooms, your kitchen, your master bath, your master bedroom closet. You want them to be the best they can be. But then when you go to sell your house, those rooms really pop, and they help you get more for your house when you go to sell it. So address anything in your house, but especially those rooms with Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. 205-422-1758. That's Brad Bell's cell phone number right there. Shoot him a text. Let him come out and look at your situation and come up with a plan for you. You'll be thrilled you did. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758.
We're at the Old River Grill across from the Floribama, part of the Floribama family here. If you're ever here, this is the sports bar arm of the Floribama. Great place to watch the game, have a great lunch or dinner over at the Yacht Club. And we've got live music, as we always do on Friday in the Floribama Lounge to wrap up the summer. Today, Trevor Finley will be with us live. For the folks that are here with us watching the show live, you get a little live music. Trevor Finley, who's playing this weekend over across the street at the Floribama. Always music going on at one of their 6 stages. A lot of fun always here on the Gulf Coast, right here on the Floribama Line.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and the experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to next round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value. Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Back with you at the floor of Bama. Actually, the Old River Grill across the street. LT has walked back from seeing some of our viewers with a gift? Question mark?
This is apparently going to be thrown in the dome later.
That is, it's a humble brag is what that is.
I don't know what this is. Like, this is like Big Earl back to the show he does with the sexual biscuits.
Yeah.
This is about the size of the bra that comes off when somebody takes the stage.
When somebody spins the wheel?
Yeah. I don't know what size this is. I'm going to say double Fs.
Did that come from Jody?
Yeah.
Yeah. He and his wife are here. It's their anniversary again?
Yeah. They're in town celebrating, living it up.
I'm not going to awkwardly turn around and look at Jody's wife.
Please don't.
But is this a home game for Jody?
If the glove fits, you must have quit.
Yeah. I mean, is it a home game for Jody?
It is.
It is?
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that is a humble brag.
Yep.
Congratulations, Jody.
Never seen one of those.
Yep.
With the next round stickers on.
I've got some Tylenol up here if anybody's got any back problems or anything. I'm opening for Big Earl.
Are you?
I can tell.
We did have that conversation last night too.
Hey, Slice brings us 4 downs every day. The great pizzeria up in the Birmingham metro area. 5 great locations. We'll get back to the guarantees after our 4 downs. Tell us about Slice.
Yeah, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevella, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood. Get in and see the Bajaya brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. The weekend is here. Pick up a pizza on the way home. Take the family out this weekend. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More total touchdowns this year coming out of the Atlanta area. Haynes King with Georgia Tech or Kirk Cousins with the Atlanta Falcons?
Total touchdowns? I'm going to go Haynes King, I think.
I'm going to go Kirk Cousins.
Are you?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great year for the Atlanta Falcons. 11 wins, maybe 12 when it's all said and done. Really good offensive year, good receivers, great tight end, good running game. Cousins doesn't run them in, but he'll throw them in. Plays more games than Haynes King. I'm going to go Kirk Cousins.
I would take, if you want to, circle back and maybe wager this up.
Okay.
Haynes King, 37 total touchdowns last year. if Georgia Tech is going to take that next step, he's going to have 40-plus
I
touchdowns.
just feel like I watch a lot of NFC South games that are 12-7.
Yeah, I'm telling you, though, that Georgia Tech was a top 30 offense last year in college football. Their defense wasn't good. At some point, Brent Key is going to have to play a little bit to try to help his defense out a little bit. I don't think Haynes King gets 37 again. So I'll go stake bet on that if you want to go ahead and do that. And I'll take Kirk Cousins, more total touchdowns than Haynes King. Do you get bowl game?
I think it should be every game played because the NFL's got more games.
Okay. Regular season for Kirk
So
Cousins.
you're going to get at least 17. Yeah, regular season for NFL.
Yeah.
The entirety for
you
college.
get all the Haynes King and Georgia Tech plays. Let's do second down.
Second down.
More total touchdowns. DJU or Trevor Lawrence? And by the way, they played together. Remember that?
They did.
It's insane, isn't it?
State of Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor's got a lot. Well, I think both have got a lot of pressure because DJ, this is that last how we will remember his legacy in college football. And I don't know about you guys. I thought it was really inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then for Trevor Lawrence getting $53.5 million a year, he's got a lot of pressure on him too.
Okay, let's go facts first. Fact, Florida State's receivers are not as good as they were last year.
No.
Okay.
I mean, Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson both will be playing on Sundays. Now you get Malik Benson, who I thought was going to be really good at Bama.
Right.
But is he going to be really good with a less quarterback in DJU?
I think the strength for Florida State is now their running game. Okay.
But although they lose their best runner,
they do.
And they lose a bigger running threat in Jordan Travis and DJU. But I do agree.
But I think they're going to run the football better this year or lean into their run game more than they are their passing game like last year. So it's going to be fewer opportunities for DJ there. And thirdly, I don't know who the backup is. I'm not sure DJ is the quarterback for this team.
You don't know if he finishes
for 12 games. So I'm
Not
going to go
Tate Rodemaker.
I'm going to go, no Tate's starting at Southern Miss.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence here as well. Usually I go with the college guys here, but I'm going to go.
Yeah,
I would go
Trevor.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on Trevor Lawrence.
Third down.
Tough question here. I should have had Rocky tee this one up, but Barbara Eden, 93 years old. I dream of Jeannie.
How was Rocky going to tee this up?
Well, because I was going to ask you, in their prime, better Jeannie in a bottle, Barbara Eden or Christina Aguilera?
Not even close in their prime is Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you. I like ex-Tina, a little dirty, but if you look at Barbara Eden back in the day, how that
oh, she was beautiful.
People were complaining to the network because she was showing the navel, the old midriff, when that was unheard of back in 60s television.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocky, I don't know if you can pull a picture of Barbara Eden in her heyday, but Barbara Eden was solid.
Oh, she was very, very good looking.
I mean, Went would have said strong as new rope.
Nasty buzzard, nasty snake.
I thought it was Crooked Road, cricket snake. I don't know.
Nasty buzzard, nasty snake.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of she'd make a train take a dirt road, freight train take a dirt road.
Yeah. Any of Wimp's sayings. She was very, very good looking, but in her heyday.
What about you, Brown?
Christina Aguilera.
I wasn't alive in Barbara Eden's heyday, so
You've seen her, right?
I've seen it, but
you could take her bance moment, and then if you put the dirty video with the chaps up, you're going ex-Tina.
Yeah, I think I would go Christina Aguilera on this one, but with to Lance's point, it was so controversial that people were complaining that she was showing her stomach. I mean, think about that for 1 second. That was the complaint.
Yeah.
That she was showing her stomach. Rockstar with the, it's a lot more than just her stomach.
That's full.
I remember that shirt coming down a little bit lower.
Yeah, she is kind of homely there.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I remember.
I mean, I'd be pissed if my Jeannie jumped out looking like that. I'd be like, we can do a little bit better.
Let's do fourth down.
Fourth down.
The late, great Kobe Bryant would have been 46 years old today.
So sad.
Which, really seems old for Kobe years. I think he was just one of those spirits that just wasn't supposed to get old.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, could he still play?
In a men's league, yes. Yeah. Hey, but Kobe Bryant, ultimately, who had the better career, Kobe Bryant or Nick Saban?
Wow. How many NBA championships Kobe finished with?
3.
Kobe got 2 on his own, 2 with Shaq. I thought he had 4.
4
Yeah,
MVPs.
I think it's 4.
I think I've got to go.
Kobe's only got 1 MVP.
Yeah, only 1 MVP. And
Kobe Bryant only had 1 MVP.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You know, it's amazing, though, the cultural impact of Kobe and what obviously Nick Saban is a beloved guy for the end of time in the state of Alabama.
Correct.
But if you go over to Venice Beach and see the mural of Kobe Bryant and then see some of the things downtown with Kobe Bryant and what
multiple murals.
What he means to, the city of Los Angeles and just state of California.
Well, I'm going to go just with Nick Saban's own philosophy is Nick Saban thought it was important enough to invite Kobe Bryant to Tuscaloosa to speak to his team.
I guarantee you, if he could have one athlete's mentality, it is a Tiger Woods, it's a Kobe Bryant, one of those guys that were just assassins.
So I think Nick Saban would answer this question, Kobe Bryant.
I think I would answer this question, Nick Saban.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Nick Saban just because I think he is the greatest to ever do it. I think Kobe Bryant realistically is a top 7 to 8 all-timer.
Yeah.
So I would go Nick Saban.
I think Nick Saban would answer Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe Bryant would answer Kobe Bryant.
I don't know. He would have. I don't know if he still would.
Yeah. And that's 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, 5 locations. Get in this weekend. Get you a pizza to go. You're going to absolutely love it. Local pizza, local ingredients. From the hot mama to the soul pie to the wing and a prayer, it is Slice.
Captain F Cup. Jody has handwritten his 3 guarantees.
It's good penmanship too.
His wife may have. Now that I see the way the E's and the L's and the Y's are,
so he dictated these.
Very bubbly. It looks like his wife wrote this.
He said, "Write these down."
And get me a bourbon drink and light my cigar. What's for dinner? Sharon Moore fired after 1 year.
That's 2 today,
and is replaced by Brian Kelly.
Ooh.
Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss for LSU. All that in one guarantee.
Wow. I mean, that's 2 today on Sharon Moore getting fired. I cannot see that.
Brian Kelly going to Michigan. Now, you go back to the roots, Central Michigan.
That's true. Yeah.
Tennessee quarterback Nico Imalaeva is the Heisman runner-up behind Dylan Gabriel, who wins the Heisman.
Well, I mean, well, good as Tennessee at that point, huh?
Yeah, if I had to lean, I don't know where you guys are on this. I probably would say Dylan Gabriel does win the Heisman. Because I think it's going to be a little bit different this year. You're going to have more teams getting to a college football playoff, obviously. So you don't necessarily have to win your conference.
Right.
So I think Dylan Gabriel, I would be shocked if the offense isn't incredible again and they're not in a college football playoff.
Dabo Swinney goes 4-8, resigns, and becomes a full-time evangelist.
Wow. Bold.
From Jody there.
Bold.
Guaranteed Friday rolls on. Being brought to you by the Wharf Casual Seafood all over our viewing area. We're down near the place they pull their seafood out of the Gulf, the Wharf Casual Seafood. Newest location right there in Moody.
Yeah, look, I had somebody ask me about the Wharf yesterday. Fantastic seafood, and it's right there within your reach. We're down here on the coast, but if you want the coast-like seafood right there in your own backyard, you've got it from our friends at Wharf Casual Seafood. You can check out their menu online right now, wharfcasualseafood.com. Find the locations nearest you. It's American cod seafood with locations in Montgomery, Dothan, Alexander City, and as Dunaway said, newest location, Moody Leeds. They've got great specials every day. Tuesday, the beer margarita specials, half off of wine on Wednesdays. They've got seafood entrees, tacos, platters, po' boys, salads, burgers, and so much more. Again, check out that menu today. Go to wharfcasualseafood.com.
A little under an hour away from Trevor Findlay, our last performer of the summer in our Floribama Lounge, live here from the Old River Grill. Trevor will be here, and then later singing across the street in the Floribama Music Hall. More of the guarantees over in the chat room. Brownie, give us a couple more before we get to the top of the hour.
From the mybookie.ag chat room, our Stews, 3 guarantees. South Dakota State beats Oklahoma State week 1. Ooh, what a massive upset.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I know we've talked about this. I know you've got Kansas State.
Yep.
I'd lean Kansas State or Utah, but at the same time, I'd like to go with Oklahoma State. But I think the QR on the helmet.
Is that bad?
It keeps me from wanting to do it. Yeah.
Bad juju, huh? Number 2, Ole Miss plays Tennessee for the SEC championship game.
Oh, wow.
And I do feel like we've got a much more varied SEC championship game projections now, and I do like that.
But I wonder if it's the hate for Texas.
I don't know, but it just doesn't feel as just, same thing over and over and over again. Number 3, SMU wins the ACC. We've actually had a lot of that today.
Too much of that, by the way.
Too much.
Brian Kelly will be on the hot seat going into next season.
Slow down. Hold on. Right.
Sorry about that, Jim.
Brian Kelly on the hot seat next year?
Yeah, going into the season. So that means LSU's had a bad year. That's what that means. Number 2, another one of these, Virginia Tech playing Clemson for the ACC championship. You some Virginia Tech, so do some of the audience.
I do, but I'm just wondering if Brent Pry is able to replicate what they did in the second half of last season with pressure on them now. Everybody knows they've got 20 returning starters.
And Georgia goes 9-3 and misses the playoffs.
My goodness, what a trend. I mean,
a lot of SMU, a lot of Georgia.
I think Georgia could go 9-3 and still get in.
I hate to tell you guys this. Kirby's not even have to make up a story about how everyone's doubting them this year. He just has to roll the tape.
No, it's on our show today. That's it.
I hope he's watching.
He doesn't have to watch all 3 hours. Just 2 hours.
Send it to him, Taylor. Send it to him.
2 hours of people trashing Georgia. Are they even going to field a team this year? I will tell you one thing. Dabo can't be a retired coach turned evangelist 4-8 and Georgia be 9-3. So they play each other week 1. A lot of stuff has to happen for both of those to end up true. More guarantees coming up, including brownies, to start the next segment of the show. That is being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City, who called in his predictions earlier on. We got Greg in early to talk about what he sees happening in college football, including an Iron Bowl winner playing for the SEC championship. Greg's a winner on your roof. It gives you a free no-cost roof inspection. Jump up, get him to jump up there and check out everything going on the rooftop. One shingle can cause a water entry point, and that can cause major damage up there. He'll give you that free no-cost roof inspection. Also, repairs storm damage, replaces roof, and does it all. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can look him up on Facebook. It is Greg from Pell City. Or you can call his cell number, that number on the screen, and he will hook you up. Greg from Pell City. Storm Restoration Roofing. We're back in a moment from down on the Gulf Coast. This is The Next Round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Before we show you Champy's, Brownie wanted to point out the fall schedule, which is still being added on to, but it has been worked out almost in its entirety.
I believe we're done, man. I believe we're done. We've shut her down.
Okay.
The fall guest schedule coming up every single week right here on the next round throughout football season. Presented by MyBookie. A lot of our regulars are going to be with us that you know and love every single Monday. You already know Tyler Booker is going to join us at 9:25 every Monday. We discussed that yesterday in our NIL deal with Tyler Booker. Joel Klatt from Fox Sports back every single Monday at 10:25. Tuesdays, we told you yesterday that Peyton Thorne will be our Auburn NIL player every Tuesday at 9:25. Then Thursday, you guys love Roman Harper and Dan Orlovsky. You got them back. Harp at 9:25 every Thursday. Dan Orlovsky just after 11, straight off the NFL Live set every Thursday, talking NFL with us. And then Todd Ferman, Ferman Fridays with us at 10 a.m. So that's your schedule for this upcoming football season.
Yeah, and so we look forward to that. Monday Morning Live, the Middle Eight, Unlocked, all of those shows as well as we continue to get ready for this college football season. Then he always kicks off with our Guarantee Fridays, 3 guarantees from all of you listeners out there and from us on the show. Taylor's going to send hers out. Kat's still juggling in the air back there. She's going to send those out on social media a little bit later on. Already we've heard from LT. We've heard from me. We've heard from EG. We've heard from Forrester. We still need 3 from Ryan Brown, and he steps to the microphone right now.
Uh-oh. Here we go, Brown.
You got to get ready. You got to get ready. The first year of the college football expanded playoff, there are 12 teams in it. Am I right about that, Jim? 12 teams.
Okay, Brown Bandit. I sense a little bit of the Brown Bandit anxiousness in your voice. Yes, there are 12 teams in what is called the 12-team playoffs.
Do you want me to play this down?
No. 12 teams.
I'm excited about football season, Jim. 12 teams in the college football playoff. Not one.
Is your prediction going to be that there's not 12 in there?
Not 2.
You're going to squeeze 13 in there?
Not 3. Not even 4. But 5 of them will be from the Southeastern Conference.
I don't believe that.
By the way, you just watch and see, Lance.
Okay.
5 SEC teams.
Can you give us the 5?
I cannot, Lance. I don't want to. We still want people to watch college football. Thank you, Steve. My first bushwhacker of the day.
Between you and EG, how are we going to get 5 SEC teams into a group of 5 teams into this thing?
I did not agree with EG.
Okay, so just right now, just for the record, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri,
and
LSU, Oklahoma. I mean, there's too many in the top 25 right now.
Yeah,
but
there's 9 in the top 25.
Yeah, where do you say 5 in the top 12?
I mean, I don't see a world where I think this is going to be a fill-out process, right? The committee's not going to be like, we're going to allow 5 teams from one conference in this thing.
Okay, just let's do the math, everyone.
Okay, please.
Okay, one group of 5.
That's right.
One Big 12, one ACC. All right? So then go 4 from the SEC and the Big 10, and that leaves 1 extra, right? So if the Big 12 and the ACC is not worthy enough to get a second one, which is possible.
Yeah, so I'll give you this. I think that it's more likely that we pull 1 back from the Big 10 and they get 3 in the SEC, and that regard could get 5.
Which leads me to prediction number 2, guarantee number 2. It is going to be one of the most under-the-radar big games in college football this year. But the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Friday, November 29th, it's Black Friday for retailers. It's going to be Black Friday for Iowa as well because Nebraska knocks them out of the playoffs en route to a 9-3 season. Nebraska beats Iowa on Black Friday and costs the Big Ten a playoff team.
Iowa probably is going to lose one of these games they shouldn't against quality opponent. Could be that situation. I can definitely see that. I could see it week 2 against Iowa State.
You know how I feel that it's going to be 4 SEC, 4 Big Ten.
That's right, yes.
It's not going to be that easy.
Unfortunately for you, you're incorrect.
I just don't think it's going to be that easy.
It's almost going to be like it's written in the rules.
Yeah, I think that's the way they want it. I just don't know if it's going to be that easy for him this year to be able to get that. I think it will be relatively easy to get 4 from the SEC. The Big Ten's going to be a little bit more difficult.
The SEC's locked at 4.
5.
There's no way for 3.
Yeah, Brown said 5.
I'll leave open 5.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but the Big Ten will have 4, even if it's a sneaky, squirrely 9-3 team.
I don't know why I continue to do this every year, but every year in my 3 guarantees, if you'll go back and look, I try to predict the Heisman Trophy winner, and I think I get it wrong every year.
Yeah, it's really tough.
It is difficult to do. But this year, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to your 2024 Heisman Trophy winner,
Luther Burden.
Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel,
Okay,
everybody.
yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, your Heisman Trophy winner.
I like some Dylan Gabriel. He has
I think the problem is that when you pick the favorite in the Heisman, other than Oregon quarterback Marcus Mariota, it's never the favorite, right?
It typically is not. Normally those bones are made in November. And look at it like this. So if Bo Nix beats Washington in the Pac-12 championship, it's a good chance he wins a Heisman last year,
I can
right?
see that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would have to do in Will Stein's offense. I don't know if the numbers can get better than they were with Bo Nix. So I don't think the numbers are going to be as good, but I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I don't know. To me, it's much easier to predict a national champion than it is a Heisman Trophy winner.
I think so too, because like you said, sometimes it's just what you do in November. They remember you in November. Dylan Gabriel's a great pick. That's who I would pick right now.
I know.
Dylan
It's
Gabriel.
impossible to do.
But it just seems like the person and I think he is the betting favorite right now. The person who is
Probably.
the favorite, for some reason, ends up getting picked apart for 12 weeks, and somebody else ends up winning this thing.
Here, you want some more?
Well, hey, real quick though, I'm watching the McAfee shows on one of the TVs here at the Old River Grill.
They're in Dublin,
and they're in Dublin in some old school J.R. Mahan's pub.
Yeah,
and they're doing shots and drinking, and they're like an FCC regulation.
No,
because I was told that though when we were on Jocks, maybe they just told me that to make me avoid.
Try to keep the reins on you.
I don't know.
Okay, our 3 guarantee show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken Highway 119 in Alabaster. We are running out of time to get the guarantees in. We're going to get to them as many as we can over the next 51 minutes. Trash and the Floribama Lounge at Champy's. They try to get to you as fast as they can as well, but they cook their chicken to order. It is cooked overnight, brined overnight, cooked to order, comes out piping hot. The Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and so much more. Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is Champy's Chicken. What do we have over there, Brown?
Keith in the mybookie.ag chat room. SMU and Iowa make the playoffs. Keith going against me there. Notre Dame does not make the playoffs. Boy, that would be such a failure by Marcus Freeman. That is a college football playoff schedule they got.
But
is.
I would tell you, when they lose week 1 to Texas A&M, if that happens, then all of a sudden there'll be more people thinking that way, that they've got to win maybe the rest of them to get in. Because with their schedule and 2 losses without a big win, they could be sitting there losing a spot to a 10-2 Big Ten team or a 10-2 SEC.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you've got A&M, who's obviously ranked. Outside of that, you'll have Florida State that will be ranked. And I don't know about USC and Louisville. I just don't know.
He dips into the NFL for his 3rd one. We generally do college. Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year. That'd be a heck of a year for him.
It would be. And almost impossible with Caleb and Jaden Daniels, but
it's going to be tough.
Possible. Who else we got over there, Brownie?
Let's keep going here, Jim. Hunter's guarantee. North Dakota State gives Colorado the business and beats them by 2 touchdowns. But Hunter only gave us one prediction there. That would be an incredible start to the college football season if that happens on that first Thursday night.
I have a feeling North Dakota State not as good as North Dakota State teams in the past. The more interesting game is one of the folks earlier, South Dakota State, Oklahoma State. I think that of the Dakotas trying to upset group of power teams early on, that's the one I'm most interested in.
Yeah, because what scares me is it's not like you can creep up on Colorado right now. They have got like all hands on deck. And do you not believe if Deion has an opportunity to run it up, he's going to run it up?
Yep. Political talk over here on Twitter. Dabo will be fielding calls from the likes of Boise State because he'll be out of the job in December. Another Dabo being fired guy. Texas and Georgia play each other 3 times this season, including one in the SEC championship and one in the college football playoff. And Florida goes 3-9 at best, says Political Talk over on Twitter.
3-9 is just, I mean, it's possible, though. It is possible. You look at that schedule, you can see a 3-9 easy.
Joey Freshwater, 3 bold predictions. Texas goes 8-4. Oklahoma plays A&M for the SEC title, and LSU makes the playoffs. And you're just like Oklahoma and A&M in the SEC, LSU's in the playoffs. You're just all the old guards out the door in Joey Freshwater's world over there. Drip with his 3 guarantees. Auburn only loses 2 games on the road this year. Oklahoma loses 3 in a row, starting with the Vols, ending with Texas. And it gets worse at Colorado. Top guys will leave early for the draft before the regular season ends. And his bonus pick is with you, LT, that Bobby Petrino ends up being the head coach again at Arkansas. But he thinks the Colorado draft picks, Shedeur and Travis Hunter, shut it down before the season's over with.
You know, it's something we brought up before. I mean, if Colorado is sitting there and they're 2-7 and there's nothing in front of them with 3 games to go, basically the month of November, like if you're Deion, how conflicted are you? Like you're the head coach, but you know what's best for your kid at that point. I just wonder what direction that goes.
Adam says in his guarantees, the 5 and 6 seeds make the college football playoff semifinals. Now, if you're not familiar with the rules, the 3 and 4 seeds are conference champions. Doesn't mean the 5 and 6 seeds are not actually higher ranked than the 3 and 4 seeds. So he thinks the 5 and 6 seeds make the college football semifinals.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, I sort of actually agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, some of imagine how good the 5 and 6s are going to be in this scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could be each 11-1 SEC runner-up.
Yeah, it's going to be the second best team in Big Ten in the SEC.
Yeah, it's
or Notre Dame.
Well, I think the 5 and 6. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think they'll be top 5 teams.
Easily
in rankings.
Yeah.
Adam says 3 SEC coaches get fired all before the season ends to try to help with the portal.
I could see Pittman,
Napier.
Say Napier. Who's that third one? I just don't know if Vandy does it before the end of the season. I don't think they're super worried about the portal.
Where's Shane Beamer in South Carolina right now?
That might be another one.
Yeah, I mean, Beamer had, by South Carolina standards, 2022 was good, so they dipped down last year. I don't know if he could get fired in schedule. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Auburn goes undefeated at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Keep in mind, you're Georgia and Alabama on the road, so a manageable home schedule for sure.
Well, that means they win a bunch of games in September because that's when a lot of their home games
First 5, but that would include wins over Oklahoma at home.
Yeah.
Who else at home?
Oklahoma. I mean, it's all those September games and then Vandy. I mean, so yeah, I mean that's you don't beat Alabama and Auburn or Alabama and Georgia, excuse me, and that's the problem there.
Yeah, Robert
or you don't get them at home.
Hey, I missed the first hour of my favorite show of the year, the 3 guarantees. Here are mine, guys. Ohio State doesn't win the Big Ten, and Ryan Day is fired.
Man, we got a lot of that.
Big Ten or not for Ryan Day, it seems like.
Yeah, well, I could see a scenario where he doesn't win the Big Ten, but still wins a national championship. Well, we've seen that before with Nick Saban.
Ohio State doesn't win the Big Ten, and I've already said that one. The winner of the Iron Bowl goes to Atlanta. Winner of the Iron Bowl goes to Atlanta.
I mean, obviously that would mean Auburn's had a better than expected season, but I mean that could be a game where the winner is 10-2, the loser is 9-3. So I mean that's not that insane of a projection.
Yeah, I don't think Auburn could get in at 9-3.
Yeah,
a brand like Bama or Georgia could get in at 9-3.
And Texas misses the playoff is his third one. That's for Robert at Next Round Live on Twitter. Champy's Chicken bringing you this hour of the show. We appreciate them. Brownie, more guarantees from the chat room.
Just what we were talking about. Cam says Alabama and Auburn both finished 9-3. I think your scenario there would be you go into the Iron Bowl with Alabama already at 9 wins probably. And then that loss gives them 9-3, probably that would certainly keep them out of Atlanta, maybe out of the playoffs. So that'd be interesting. Utah wins the Big 12. You like that one, Lance?
I think it's Utah, Kansas State.
Yeah.
Probably one of those two.
Oklahoma State.
Cam just blows past the 16 team. His third prediction, there's an 18 team playoff in 2 years. I don't know about 18.
Yeah, I think 16 is the number we settle on.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever gets higher.
So would 18 allow you is that the way that worked? 2 buys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of the NFL model at that point there.
I like that. I think it goes 16. We get the model you want. Yeah. And I think we want, which is 2 on-campus games. 2 weeks of on-campus.
Paul doubles back. He had already given us his projections, but he said one guarantee that he thought of is that Florida and LSU will have the same number of wins.
Hey, look at who showed up at the pub.
Who? Is that Nick Saban?
Yeah. It is.
Nick Saban at an Irish pub.
And I think, and I could be wrong on this, I'm just glancing up, that they're supposed to chug 100 beers between the 5 people that are on McAfee's panel, and I wonder if Saban's going to panel.
No, I think that's going to be a no on that one. Well,
He's got a crimson quarter zip on, but does not have an A on it anymore.
Yeah.
It's a polo. Looks to be
Still got the color scheme though, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, this time last year, Nick Saban would be sweating off about 70 pounds in Tuscaloosa at fall camp, and now he's over in
He's
Ireland.
making the same amount of money to sit down in a
I know.
pub to talk about college football.
I mean, it does look weird. It just looks weird.
Around the table, do you think the way he's dressed right now, the way his hair looks and everything, did Nick Saban play golf earlier today?
Yeah, I think Nick Saban is fresh off the course.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to get done with the course on Go to McAfee show.
Yep, I think that's exactly
Because it's late afternoon over there, right? Right now.
Yeah, it's 7 hours in front.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's 6:20.
Yeah, early evening. The pubs are packed over. Hey, we're closing in on kickoff too. Just past 24 hours from kickoff of the college football season.
Almost made it.
More guarantees, Brown?
Yeah, Hunter. Number one, the number 3 SEC team will get a better seed than the SEC championship game loser. I think that's something to watch. How these conferences try to protect the teams that are in their conference championship game. If you're the Big Ten and the SEC, you control this playoff. You're going to have multiple teams every year. Those championship games are important to you. So I think they have got to avoid any suggestion that it was a penalty to you to go to the conference.
Yeah, because I think what's going to be bad is if you start to have an 11-1 team that might tank to not go to a college or go to a SEC championship game.
Yeah. So
I know that sounds crazy, but there's got to be a world of scenario where that could happen.
I think there'll be heavy politics involved in this, Jim, that you got to make sure that team doesn't get heavily penalized just by going to a conference championship
That's
game.
right. Yeah. In fact, it's probably already in the unwritten rules with the committee is that you cannot drop a Big Ten or SEC championship loser past this point.
Projection number 2, guarantee number 2 from Hunter, Kansas and LL wins the Big 12 title. LL.
Lance Leipold.
Oh, Lance Leipold. Okay. Yeah. Boy, I missed that one.
If you told me that Jalen Daniels is healthy for all 12 games, I can see it. I just don't know if he can stay healthy.
Wait, it's wide
made it
open.
3 games last year.
And guarantee number 3 from Hunter, Alabama gets back to the Final Four in football and in basketball. Wow. The old combo from Hunter there.
Hey, if you had to, and we could do this maybe next week, if you had to do a combination of a team that makes the semifinals in both.
Best odds.
Do you think Alabama would be the best odds?
We'll do it next week. Think about that. Semifinals in both. Let's go Elite 8 and semifinals in both.
Okay.
We'll do that next week. I wrote that down to put it on the sheet next week. All right. Trash coming up. Live music here from the Old River Grill at the Floribama, just across from the Floribama. Trevor Finley will be up in a couple of segments to sing us into the weekend. More of your bold predictions. Brown will curate them over in the chat room. Jump in there and do that. We'll go back on Twitter at Next Round Live to jump in there. The show, as I said, being brought to you by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Forrester, I think we got every other than Taylor who is juggling cats with our friends at Cover Crimson and the barn auburn.com. We've gotten everybody's prediction that wants to get one back there, right?
Yes. Like we're good there.
Okay, so we're good there with everybody back there, and we will keep up with these and see if anyone nails them. When we did this, we started way back when in 2010, in the very first year. Somebody had Auburn winning I think it was Bobby from Homewood. I may misremember it, but I think it was Bobby from Homewood who went Auburn wins the national championship, and they did that year.
We laughed.
Oh, we had to do with Cam Newton to win the Heisman.
That's right.
Maybe Bobby too. Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Auburn win the national.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Yeah.
Let's try to make these serious, guys. We're back here at the Old River Grill at the Floribama with Trash when we come back right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Back with you to sunny Orange Beach, Alabama, right on the Florida-Alabama line at the Old River Grill as we're sitting here getting ready for college football season, which kicks off at 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow in Dublin with Florida State, Georgia Tech. Before LT tells us about Inverness Country Club, in that game, Georgia Tech was a top 30 offense last year. They averaged 424 yards per game, but their defense wasn't any good. They were in the 131s in run defense. So they've got to get better. They brought in Duke's defensive coordinator, Tyler Santucci, who worked under Mike Elko. So he's bringing the Mike Elko scheme with him to Georgia Tech to see if they can get a little bit better in that department. I just don't know if Georgia Tech, you loved Haynes King earlier. You look at Florida State's front seven. They're not Michigan great, but Florida State's front seven, they got a couple of great edge rushers. They got a great defensive tackle. It's going to be hard for Georgia Tech to score the football tomorrow.
No, maybe. I mean, probably. I don't know. I mean, Ferman says the under 55.5. I mean,
is that what he said? That's my play. It's under 55.5.
He said take the under. Well, now there's a lot of steam. A lot of people are starting to pop that under right now. It went from 51.5 to 55.5. I would say this, man. Haynes King is that good. And you start to look at Buster Faulkner and what he did with this offense. Going back to 2022, they averaged 17 points per game. They were over 30 points per game last year. And Florida State has got a lot coming back, but at the same time, you lose your two best defenders in Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. And then you lose 60 or 41% of your production on the offense.
Yeah, I love Peyton and Jones off the edge, and then Daryl Jackson on the defensive line for Florida State. We'll see how it plays out. I think Florida State, I want it to be close. You know, we're going to be watching it tomorrow here on the coastline. I want it to be close, but I'm starting to think Florida State makes it a 3-touchdown game. All right, it is time for trash. Back to the predictions later. But trash every day brought to you by our friends. Did you do Inverness?
No.
Okay, brought to you by Inverness before we get to trash.
Inverness Country Club. Inverness Country Club makes
They don't do IVs.
They don't. No, but you get an IV before you go out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hey, they've got memberships that fit everyone, including resort style pool, the social membership, full service cabana, bar, live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch, the golf membership. You guys played out there not long ago. Beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range, childcare, big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it in Inverness. Best days happen there. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Erin today. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
Sorry for my screw up there, Rockstar. Before we get to trash, Travis Kelce. We told you about Loose Cannons. He'd be starring in that comedy drama as a police investigator, Loose Cannons. He has another movie role announced.
Are you kidding me?
He
So
will.
stupid.
He
Is
will.
the guy playing football still?
He will be in Happy Gilmore 2, the remake.
So I'm assuming Adam Sandler is back and he's producing this and everything.
Yes, and Travis Kelce will be part of that.
Well, I mean, Adam Sandler knows how to make a shitty movie shittier.
Yeah.
Let's cast Travis Kelce.
Hey, here's your mind-blowing real sports stat of the day.
I bet I've got a better one, unless you got it from Jody, because I just got one from him.
Oh, I didn't get it from Jody.
Okay,
So
you go and I'll try to top you.
Today you've got a double F bra from Jody and an amazing sports
An
stat.
amazing sports stat.
Okay. This one cannot match either one of the things you've gotten from Jody, I bet. But the Yankees lead American sports, major sports, 31 straight winning seasons when it comes to the pros, 31 straight winning seasons. There are two teams tied with 13 straight winning seasons, two franchises in pro sports. Who are those two franchises?
13 straight winning seasons?
Yep. Kansas City Chiefs.
Nope.
That's hard to believe.
Never mind. The Boston Celtics.
Nope.
The LA Dodgers.
LA Dodgers is one. And we can sit here all day. You'll never guess the other ones.
Is it hockey?
Nope. It's in the city of Los Angeles, but it's the LA Clippers.
Are you kidding
me?
me?
They are tied with the Dodgers with 13 straight winning seasons.
That's hard to believe.
Okay, those are good, but here is the one that Jody gave me. Lee Corso has as many interceptions at Florida State than Deion Sanders did.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Jody, you shut your mouth. Jody.
I didn't even
There's
think
no
they
way.
threw the football back then, did you?
Well,
I know they didn't throw it at Deion,
They
but
threw a lot more interceptions back then.
Okay,
for sure.
we need somebody on the internet checking that out real quick.
Okay.
I need to see that at some site not named jodyfbroad.com.
Boy, there were a lot of guesses in the mybookie.ag chat room for Steelers on your question. It's hard to believe the Steelers haven't had that many consecutive winning seasons.
Well, I mean,
but some have probably been 500. That's probably what's killing them. They had
Yeah,
some 8-8.
yeah,
I bet they had an 8-8.
Yeah, that's the stat. Tomlin's never had a losing season.
Never had a
Yeah,
losing
but
season.
some have been 8-8.
Yeah.
Or now you can't have a 500 season in the NFL. Jeff Fisher could not come back and coach.
No,
again.
McVay is about to take this and run.
Okay,
with it.
great. The next LA team to do it: Clippers, Dodgers, and Rams.
We always think of the Clippers as this jinx franchise, and for them to have gone 13 straight.
Pretty jinx. Have you watched Clipped?
I have not watched Clipped.
It's pretty entertaining.
It is time for the entertaining segment we call Trash Every Day. It is brought to you by Mortgage Right. Rockstar, hit the big button, please.
The line is baked in a buttery, flaky crust.
Baked on a buttery crust. Close. Baked on a buttery, crispy crust.
Damn, flaky.
I thought I said flaky. Baked in a buttery, flavored crust. Crust.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
And we are proud to partner with the mortgage experts. Whether you're buying your first home or final home, these guys are your one-stop shop for all mortgages. No cost or obligation, just to find out what you qualify for. Go online, mortgageright.com, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. I'm done with Disney. This story coming from NBC. I was never a Disney fan before.
You're not done with Disney. You're done going there.
Oh, I was done going there before.
So you're not going to watch anything that Disney produced?
I don't
what
know.
Do you mean by
Like,
done with Disney?
okay, well, I'm going to tell you the story, and then
They
you
own
tell me how
ESPN.
you feel about it.
I
I
don't
know.
stop watching ESPN.
Yeah, well, I'm going to watch in games. I'm not going to completely torture myself.
Okay.
Disney Plus, I might have to get rid of and just do Hulu and spend extra money just on Hulu. But you guys tell me how wrong this is. Disney is trying to have a widower's wrongful death lawsuit dismissed and sent to arbitration because the man had signed up for a Disney Plus account several years ago. Jeffrey Piccolo sued Disney Parks and Resorts in February, months after his wife died after she consumed food containing allergens at a restaurant in Disney World. Now, Piccolo said in his complaint that he and his wife and his mother went to dinner at Raglan Road Irish Pub and Restaurant at the resort in Orlando on October 5th. They asked several times whether the allergies could be accommodated according to the complaint. Despite the servers having assured them, wife had a severe allergic reaction and died at the local hospital. Disney filed court documents in May saying the $50,000 lawsuit, that's it. He just wanted $50,000 to pay the medical cost, should be dismissed and resolved by individual arbitration because of terms Piccolo agreed to when he signed up for a free trial of the streaming service Disney Plus. So in the fine print at Disney Plus, when you agree to that, we have agreed that basically we have no rights when we go to a Disney park.
Yeah, and we've all done it.
Yeah.
When do you read those things?
Zero.
I never read them.
No.
My Apple phone.
The terms and conditions and all that?
Terms and conditions.
Yeah.
I click every time, and they've updated them, and I click every time, and I never even read them.
Now, attorneys for the company said the users have to select checkboxes that hyperlink to the terms of use, as well as another that says they agreed to the terms. Users cannot select agree and continue if the boxes are not checked, according to the filing. Filing included a copy of its terms and conditions. A section titled Disney Terms of Use says that any dispute between you and us, except for small claims, is subject to a class action waiver and must be resolved by individual binding arbitration. The dude is asking for, his wife died after asking over and over again, and all he wants is $50,000.
Yeah.
How this has even come public is amazing.
What should happen here is by law, we're dismissing this case, and I am ruling a judgment of $50 million for him in damages.
If Dunaway was a judge,
that's what I would
Talk
do.
about us being broke.
I know his court would be incredible.
I would be like, "You're right. He does. You do not have to pay him the $50,000 of this. You have to pay him $50 million because of this."
Honest to goodness, if you were a judge, you would have the best judge television show because any outcome is on the table. Like Dunaway can have
just depending on how he feels for the day.
It's like Magic 8 Ball. It'd be like, $50 million.
No, I mean, this is just, and it's like the kid that got drug off by the alligator. I don't think his family got anything.
Well, that one, that was I don't know all the
Disney,
details
it's
about
too
it.
crowded. It's too expensive. There's people on Rascals.
It's the greatest place.
Oh, I disagree.
But Lance is right. The Rascals are out of control.
It is. You should have to.
I don't know how you do it.
You have to prove you need one.
I think
somehow.
some of it is you've just eaten too much your entire life and you can't walk around Disney, so you're in a rascal.
I think some of it is you just don't want to walk around Disney.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, done with this. Smuggler. I don't think they're going to lose any sleep over me.
No, I don't think they're
Pretty
counting
much
your
done
loss.
with them anyway.
Wait, they're telling me in my ear stock is dropping.
I mean, if people see this story, it should.
They have pulled Nick Saban off the set. They cannot pay him anymore.
He's still not drinking a beer. Smuggler was caught trying to move more than $5 million worth of meth into California last week by disguising the drugs as watermelons.
Okay, Rockstar, do we have a photo of this? Can we judge if it was a good photo or a good try or not? It's up? Okay, we'll get it momentarily.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol announced on Tuesday. Yeah, I love my watermelon tape down the middle.
Yeah.
That's not even a watermelon, is it? It looks like somebody put a clay piece of art together.
Yeah, that's good, Rockstar. I like that one.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol announced on Tuesday agents intercepted a smuggler on Friday during a secondary inspection. The incident began when a 29-year-old man driving a truck pulled up to the border. When asked what the man was hauling, he said, watermelons. CBP agents sent him to a secondary inspection. Watermelons were unloaded from the truck for further inspection. That's when the agents found a few odd-looking melons that you guys see right here.
Oh, my gosh.
Upon careful inspection, quote, officers uncovered 1,220 packages wrapped in paper disguised as watermelons within the shipment.
You got to put some real watermelons in there, right? And these are just in there with the real ones, right?
Contents of the packages were tested, identified as meth with a total weight of 4,587 pounds. Estimated street value exceeded $5 million.
You're right, Dunaway. You hide this in a stack of watermelons.
Of real watermelons, yeah.
Or hide these in a stack of real watermelons.
And ironically, though, because I clicked that Disney box, I am told those are real watermelons. I have to admit those are real watermelons.
So after I took an edible about a month, 2 months ago, and it was one of those fever dream. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Anaconda with J-Lo and Jon Voight. Ice Cube, Luke Wilson,
Cinematic
Owen
classic.
Wilson. Yeah, and I was just thinking how ridiculous.
That or Godfather. That or Godfather.
I mean,
as long as it shouldn't lead to A Dream About Me, keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at storyline, probably Anaconda
over Godfather.
But we are getting a modern version of Anaconda on the big screen with 2 comedic actors you guys know.
We're already remaking Anaconda?
According to the report, Jack Black and Paul Rudd are in talks to star in the re-imaging of the 1997 film. What's more is Tom Cormican, known for his work on the Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal starring comedy, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I thought was really good. He is actually writing and directing the movie for Columbia Pictures. Now, according to sources, new Anaconda involves a group of friends facing midlife crisis who are remaking their favorite movie from their youth. They head to the rainforest only to find themselves in a fight for their lives against natural disasters, giant snakes, and violent criminals.
I am not going to watch this.
Well,
I probably will.
Yeah,
we remake everything, don't we? Multiple times.
Yeah. We've got a karate expert in Japan who broke a haunted house worker's jaw with a kick in 2011, has lost his 13-year-long lawsuit against the amusement park where the incident took place. Now, the Osaka High Court's recent ruling dismissed the man's claims that the park was partly responsible for the altercation. Now, according to reports, the incident occurred while the karate expert, who remains unnamed, was visiting with colleagues. Before entering the haunted house, the man admitted to consuming alcohol. Once inside, he was startled when a park employee dressed as a ghost stepped forward to frighten him. The karate expert reacted by kicking the ghost in the face, breaking the worker's jaw. The man later claimed that his actions were a reflex.
Yeah, I believe this.
No, 100% true story. Growing up over in Calhoun County, we had a thing in Jacksonville called the Haunted Forest. I don't know if you guys had anything like that, but it was really a wooded area, and they would set it up as a haunted house. And a guy I went to high school with went through the haunted forest, and it was a bunch of jump scares. Guys would jump out, and one guy jumped out and scared him so bad, his reflexes, he just punched his lights out, completely knocked him out, and got banned for life. He's lucky. I guess he didn't get arrested. He's lucky, right?
The one I've gone to the last couple of years for our platform down in Pelham, they have a warning sign: do not punch. There are jump scares involved. You do not punch.
Well, that was just his reaction. Like the guy jumped out so close to him, he punched him.
But that is my reaction every time, is to throw my hands up at somebody.
In his lawsuit, karate expert argued that the park had been negligent by failing to train its staff to prevent such attacks from visitors. He also contended the park should have prevented him from entering the attraction, given that he had been drinking. I'm going to side with the park on this one.
Yeah, if he's been drinking.
What's the ghost supposed to do? Like have the block ready to go?
Yeah, this guy's a karate expert. You're not going to stop it.
Rockstar, I know this next and final story is going to excite you on Trash. General Mills Monster Cereals back starting this month for the 2024 Halloween season. This year's lineup features Count Chocula, Blueberry, Frankenberry, and Carmella Creeper. Now, in a new twist, this year's cereals introduce new pet marshmallows, one for each monster. First, Frightful Friends, mashup of the monster cereal flavors with a new pet-shaped marshmallow. The pets include spiders, bats, cats, and snakes. Count Chocula is going to have Igor the Spider, chocolatey cereal mixed with spider-shaped marshmallows. Frankenberry will have Benny the Bat, berry-flavored cereal mixed with bat-shaped marshmallows. Blueberry will have Meow Berry the Cat, berry-flavored cereal mixed with cat-shaped marshmallows. And then finally, the Carmella Creeper with Scratch the Snake, caramel apple-flavored cereal with snake-shaped marshmallows.
Rockstar, is Blueberry the best of the monster cereals, you think?
For me,
I think it is.
It was back and forth from Frankenberry to Blueberry. Then you
Yeah,
have Fruit Root.
Frankenberry. That's pretty much the same cereal, though, right? Frankenberry and Blueberry?
Well, one's strawberry and one's blueberry.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I like best, though. I think I've had them both.
I think I go Blueberry.
I did not like Count Chocula. I was not a big chocolate cereal guy.
It dicks up the milk too bad.
Yeah, it does.
Yep, I agree. That's Trash Today, brought to you by Mortgage Right.
Yeah, our friends at Mortgage Right want to remind you, if you are out there shopping for a home, they are the best in the business. So whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com, or call 205-900-7200 and tell them the next round sent you.
Brown, a couple of more of the guarantees before we get to our musical Floribama Lounge today. Do you have any queued up ready to go over there?
I do. Volfan205 says, and I want you to know how much we appreciate this. I love this show so much. Does not lose a step in the offseason. Happy football eve. We are all excited to be here, but It's always football season here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we never really stray away from football.
Well, that's been my favorite part of being teamed up with you guys the last 15 years. Not that you and I struggled in the offseason, Brown, when it was just me and you, but it was more difficult. But because of the way Lance has always done his show and does his show, it makes January to August go a lot more enjoyable.
We do enjoy the summer, though.
Yeah.
Randy, 3 currently ranked teams fail to be ranked in the playoff committee poll at the conclusion of the season. Florida State, Oklahoma, and USC. Those are his 3 predictions, basically. Florida State, Oklahoma, and USC unranked at the end of the season.
I could see it.
Ooh, I mean, that'd be tough for them all, but yeah. Bobby, Cam Coleman makes an All-American team. My third guarantee, I always do the Heisman guy, but if I didn't do the Heisman, I was going to say Cam Coleman becomes Auburn's first 1,000-yard receiver since Ronnie Daniels.
Well, if that does happen, Peyton Thorne's had a really good year, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby says Peyton Thorne makes third team All-SEC, which would be a really good season for him. That's a crowded All-SEC quarterback.
So Carson back, whether you want to go Jalen Ewers, Jackson Dart.
If you're third team, you're really good.
Huge.
Yep.
And his third prediction during the ceremony to recognize the 2004 team, Tommy Tuberville thanks Bruce Pearl and Butch Thompson, forgets to mention Hugh Freeze. Is there a backstory? Well, I mean, the Ole Miss thing, I don't know if Tommy and Hugh Freeze don't.
I don't think Hugh likes Tommy a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Rev K. Johnson, Mississippi State upsets a top 10 team this year. They'll get a couple opportunities. Number 2, high-profile player sits out over NIL dispute. Almost happened in the Egg Bowl last year.
I think we've had that prediction in the last couple of years. You're almost right last year.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't know if we'll know why when it happens, because it could end up being, disguised as an injury. Number 3, Nick Saban named commissioner of college football before the national title game to start the following year.
Not going to happen. He would take too big of a pay cut.
Yeah.
I mean, he's over in Ireland playing golf and sitting with McAfee, who's chugging beers. And he's making $8 to $10 million to do that. You think he wants to be college football commissioner?
College football overtime rule expert writes in, the number 3 SEC team gets a better seed than the SEC championship game loser.
Again, I think the conferences are going to try to protect those teams too much. And you got to remember that the Big Ten and the SEC run this playoff.
I think we've already gotten to him. If I read these other 2 over there earlier. And a couple more still rolling in.
I got a few over here.
Hit one.
Nicholas Lane is Florida's next head coach. Lane Kiffin, Florida's next head coach.
His dad, longtime Tampa Bay coach.
How do you guys feel about that?
Big tie to the state.
I mean, you can win a national championship at Ole Miss, right?
Yep.
You can.
You can? I mean, you're basing that on what? Wait a minute. You're basing that on what?
I mean, based on the fact that you can get in college football playoff, they go 10-2, they're in this year.
You can do it. They are.
I'm just saying.
Based on the SEC, Brandon.
If he goes to Florida,
I've seen it done there.
How many guys have done it at Florida? A lot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how many guys have done it at Ole Miss? None.
But he's got an opportunity, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's a better fit at Ole Miss.
James Franklin has a top 10 win. I think his only opportunity this year is going to be Ohio State.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
And USC makes the playoffs. Look at you, Lance. You're in the playoffs.
I picked that with my 12-team playoff. You guys will give us your 12-team playoff coming up later on. McAfee is currently dancing with Terry Saban.
I think he's smashed.
Yeah, he is smashed.
Yeah. I've only seen him have 6 Guinnesses since the show started.
I love it.
Is Maxon on that trip with them? Do you know?
Do not know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope he is for his sake.
Me too, to be on that trip over to Ireland. Game day with Nick Saban tomorrow on ESPN, leading into the 11 o'clock Florida State Georgia Tech kickoff. When we come back, we do our final Floribama Lounge of the year. Trevor Finley, who will do a little musical show for us here at the Old River Grill, also performing at the Floribama. Live music every day down at the Floribama. Make sure when you're down here on the coast, you check out the Floribama. This is The Next Round.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter @jlunce.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, back with you at the Old River Grill, final segment of our guarantee show. If we may get to another one or two here before the show's over with. If we didn't get to them, I may make them a part of Dunaway After Dark coming up Sunday night as well. We'll try to get to some next week, but they're all documented there in the chat room on social media at Next Round Live. We've got the menu, the football menu they have here at the Old River Grill out in front of us, including
is that fried okra?
Fried green beans.
Oh, green beans.
Wow.
Okay.
Brown, grab one.
Yes, sir. I'm going to reach over. I'm going to reach over and grab one.
Yeah, I will talk this up. The Old River Grill. Want to remind you too, coming up, get your tickets early. Our buddy Chief, Brad Harden, and his wife Barkley went to this last year, said it was incredible. Bulls on the Beach, one of Floribama's most anticipated events of the year. Bring the family out to experience the ultimate adrenaline rush with 3 nights of live rodeo action featuring professional bull riders from all over the country. Portion of the proceeds, as with most things for the Floribama, they take care of great organizations out there. It's going to go to the St. Jude Children's Hospital for the research department. This is September 5th through the 7th. They're almost sold out right now. They're going to sell out every single year. So make sure you get your tickets right now at floribama.com.
And we want to thank the whole crowd that came out here to see this show and just to say hi. We're going to take some pictures afterwards, but it's time now to bring in Trevor Finley, who will be performing not only here in the Floribama Lounge segment of our show, but really over in the music hall that is the Floribama this weekend. As we do it all summer long until football season starts, we have a little music to kick us into the weekend. And Trevor, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Thanks. Doing great. How you doing?
Doing
awesome.
fantastic.
Love the microphone. I thought for a minute when you came in, it was like a combination of Vince Neil and Brett Michaels. Is that fair?
Well, I wish I had their money. And I can also tell you that between the three of us, only two of us have had work done.
Yeah. When I met you last night, man, your hair didn't look like this. Who does your hair?
Well, yeah, when you saw me after a 10-hour drive last night, so
Okay.
it was like I was coming in hot, really,
Yeah,
and it was just like I put on a baseball cap and came to now I come to play. I gotta gotta dress up a little bit.
Here's what I've got to ask though. Typically, the genre is mostly country at the Floribama.
Yeah.
You don't look like that. And you look more of, I guess, because I'm thinking Bret Michaels and Vince Neil. You look more in the classic rock genre.
Glam rock.
Well, that's pretty much where we're going to go. We're going to do a lot of rock. We're going to go 80s, 90s, some original stuff. I'm going to be recording the shows this weekend just to see what we get and have a little bit of fun.
Are we getting 80s or 90s here?
Well, you're going to get an original. So this is like 2020, I guess 3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
An original
song. Yeah.
All right.
I like that. And
so that way YouTube will be playing nice with you guys.
Oh, yeah. We're used to it. Trust me.
All right. So make sure when you're done here over the Floribama all weekend long to hear Trevor. Do you know what stage and when you're playing this weekend?
Yeah. Let's see. Tonight I'm going to be sitting in with the Scotty Cohen trio. And that's going to be from 6 to 10 in the main room, which is the upstairs acoustic place. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'll be in the Dome, which is the where all the bras go.
That's right.
Yeah, we had one earlier.
Yeah. And so I'll be there from 10 o'clock p.m. until they tell me to stop.
All right. Tell us the name of this song, and then we'll get into the Floribama Lounge here.
Well, it's called A Little Too Much, and it's as close as I get to any kind of social commentary. There we go. Riding on the virtual wall, saying every damn thing about nothing at all. Words upon words, and have you heard what you said to him, what you did to her? Getting to the point where enough is enough, and a little too much of mine, a little too much, a little too much of mine, a little too much. Beat by the things like pigs at the trough, never getting full, ain't never gonna stop. The devil's in the details, the devil's doing well, getting up pace from the gates of hell. It's getting to the point where enough is enough, and a little too much of mine, a little too much, a little too much of mine, a little too much. Turn a wide screen window to the world. Never had to leave the house. Got a wide screen window to the world. Wonder how we live without. It's a little too late. A little too late. A little too late to take back now. That's right. Pour from my fly to my head, to my heart, to my phone, to my car, to my bed. Gotta stay connected, gotta stay aware. Doesn't really matter if I don't really care. It's getting to the point where enough is enough, and a little too much of mine, a little too much. A little too much of mine, a little too much. Got the wide screen window to the world. Never had to leave the house. Got a wide screen window to the world. Wonder how we live without. It's a little too late. A little too late. A little too late to take back now. A little too late. A little too late. A little too late. To take back now. No, a little too much of mine, a little too much. A little too much of mine, a little too much. A little too much of mine, a little too much. A little too much of mine, a little too much.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Tyler. Excuse me. It's not Tyler. Tyler back there in the studio. That is
Tyler was commenting on how much he liked that.
I know.
That's Trevor Finley.
Do we have time for a 90s?
He's over in the Floribama. We got time for anything. We can go
You
on
got
all
time
day.
to give us a little 90s cover?
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, he says.
We have a guy who plays music on our staff, Rockstar, and he always loves it when we tell him one song, and then
Yeah.
out of nowhere we tell him,
Yeah,
hey, would you play one more song for us?
He was hoping like Dr. Feelgood or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I don't know if we have time though.
Oh, we don't?
unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Well, we don't
we
have
can
time.
hear him at the Floribama Lounge.
Tell us where Trevor is this weekend again, Brownie.
Trevor's across the street at the Floribama gym.
And tonight he's up in the songwriter room.
Songwriter room. He will be at
Symphony
the Dome
room.
Saturday, Sunday. I also want to remind you, get your tickets early for Floribama's Bulls on the Beach. This is an incredible event. Bring the entire family out. The ultimate adrenaline rush. 3 nights of live rodeo action featuring professional bull riders from all over the country. A portion of the proceeds from this event will go to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Almost sold out. Get your tickets right now at floribama.com.
And Trevor, the chance to be part of the live recording is the Saturday and Sunday shows down in the Dome, right?
That's right. It's going to be full band. It's going to be electric and a really, really good time.
All right. We appreciate you spending the morning with us here. Thank you so much. We got about a minute left, Brownie. Let's knock out some more of the 3 guarantees here that we started the show with. Again, if we didn't get to all of them, we apologize. We'll try to get as many as we can on next week.
Will says defensive player wins the Heisman. Auburn has a 1,000-yard rusher and receiver. Arch Manning gets his first start in Atlanta. Gary says Milroe wins the Heisman. Clemson advances 1 round of the college football playoffs. Ohio State doesn't make the final 4 teams.
Arch Manning getting a start in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Why in Atlanta? Why
don't know.
why wait till the final game?
I can't tell you.
Does that
guys.
mean
Maybe
yours goes out in
they-
College
I
Station?
don't know what everybody's thinking when they say that.
You think there would be an applause if yours went down at College Station?
Oh yeah, that could get ugly there. That could get ugly.
That's going to be an interesting rivalry game. But we started all off tomorrow in Dublin. It's Florida State and Georgia Tech. And then, of course, a week from Saturday, Alabama and Auburn and the rest of the SEC will get things going. And we'll be there along for the ride. Thank you to the Floribama, the staff, and everyone here at the Old River Grill for hosting this.
Shout out Steve Powers.
And thank you, Steve, Uncle Steve. We got a mystery 5th hour we're going to record next. And thanks to everyone. And we're back with you on Monday, back in studio. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.